Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names. David Scott Kelly.
With the 25th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers and hosts for the 2025 NFL Draft select Jordan Morgan, tackle, Arizona.
Finally, the Arizona Wildcats have a first-round pick in the National Football League draft. It had been a minute, quite a minute on a number of fronts. But how about that? Jordan Morgan out of Marana High School, taken late in the first round by the Green Bay Packers. How long had it been? Well, let's just start with the fact he's the first offensive lineman out of the University of Arizona taken in the first round since another Tucson high schooler by the name of John Fina, who was taken in 1992, also out of the University of Arizona. If Jordan Morgan can have the career that John Fina had, he's going to be all right. He's going to be all right, for sure. And then it had been since 2008 since the Arizona Wildcats football program had had a player at all taken in the first round of the NFL draft. That's 15 drafts. 15 drafts in which no Arizona Wildcat was taken in the first round until Jordan Morgan heard his name called by the Green Bay Packers last night. And then in terms of offensive linemen from Arizona being drafted at all, 2009 was the last time an Arizona Wildcats offensive lineman was drafted at all. Eben Britton. So it's a day to celebrate, for sure. Day to celebrate Jordan Morgan and his tremendous accomplishment. Not only as a Tucsonan, but as a U of A Wildcat. But, folks, we got to be better. This program has got to be better. You cannot go 15 drafts without a first-round pick. That has got to stop. That has got to change. And it's going to be incumbent upon Brent Brennan and his staff, who will have the spotlight on them Saturday night at the stadium for the spring showcase. I don't know if we should call it a spring game, because we're not actually going to be playing much of a game. Spring showcase might be a better way to put it. But it's incumbent upon him to continue what Jedd Fisch started, because there's going to be a number of Arizona Wildcats selected in this draft. Maybe more than we've seen in quite a long time. That's a good thing. We've always talked about you have got to get back into the business. This football program has got to get back into the business of putting players into the National Football League through the draft process. And we're not talking about 1 or 2 a year. We're talking about 4, 5, 6 players a year. And you've got to be more consistent with having high round picks, first rounders, second rounders, third rounders, first 2 days of the National Football League draft. If you ever want to be the program you want to be, you have got to become more consistent in putting kids into the National Football League through the draft process. So last night was a brilliant first step We will await to see what happens with rounds 2 and 3 today, and then 4, 5, and 6 on Saturday. But what a tremendous accomplishment for the second straight year that the city of Tucson has a prepster taken in the first round of the National Football League draft. Bijan Robinson last year, Jordan Morgan this year. Gotta love that.
I got a question. So if it's been 15 years since a lineman was drafted, how much of that has to do with the fact that they've had 6 coaches in that time period? And we're not talking about 6 coaches at Notre Dame, DK. We're not talking about 6 coaches at USC, one of the traditional powerhouses, but 6 coaches at a school that's had hot and cold moments, certainly some great players who've come out of this program. But without that stability, how hard is it to lure guys who potentially maybe one day will play in the NFL?
Well, I mean, that's certainly part of it. That is certainly part of it. You have got to have consistency on the coaching staffs, but you got to also, and it goes back to one of the first things I said when Rich Rodriguez was hired here. Rich Rodriguez his system was set up for college football.
Yes. You weren't going to get a lot of NFL linemen coming out of that system.
No.
Look at
NFL players, period. And you could just look at, his teams at West Virginia, his teams at Michigan hadn't had a lot of, especially West Virginia, because I think that's more comparable to Arizona than Michigan. You're going to fall into the NFL from Michigan.
Right.
If you're good enough to go to Michigan, you're going to get guys that fall into the NFL.
Just some legacy guys will show up on your doorstep, and you'll have NFL prospects at Michigan.
Right. But at West Virginia, you got to coach guys up and develop guys to have them have the opportunity to be in the National Football League. And just looking at his ledger out of there told you right away that he's not really a coach that puts a lot of guys into the National Football League. And so, and as much as folks didn't necessarily like Mike Stoops, that was the first coach I covered here, but Mike Stoops put guys in the NFL. They did. And then, of course, it followed after that, the Sumlin years. Not a lot of guys. Obviously, Kevin Sumlin finished the recruiting. Finished the recruiting anyway of the first-round pick that was selected last night, Jordan Morgan. That was recruiting that obviously was started during the Rich Rodriguez regime. A local kid who clearly wanted to stay home to play his college football. And then you kind of got back on point with the Jed Fish era and the talent that they brought in, and hopefully the young man that we'll have a chance to see drafted today and tomorrow out of this university. And you got to continue that. And I think we got that opportunity because there's some coaches on this staff with Brent Brennan, and they've put some guys into the National Football League. And that was at a smaller school than this. And I think now they're going to have a chance, being in a program like Arizona, to raise that profile for themselves. And so you got to do that. Yeah, the only way kids will come here if you show that you can put them and train them and develop them and give themselves an opportunity to be presentable for a draft, for selection night in the National Football League. So the jury's still out. It's a good start this year. We'll see what transpires the next 2 days. But finally getting a first-round pick, that's a good first step for this program as it moves forward. How'd you feel about that last night? The few Packer fans they showed in Detroit, not real happy with the Jordan Morgan pick. But again, offensive linemen aren't sexy.
No.
They're not sexy picks. They're not quarterbacks, 6 quarterbacks taken at the top half of the draft. They're not wide receivers. What was there, 7 wide receivers taken or something of that?
How many
crazy
named
nature?
How many named offensive linemen come out of college in your lifetime?
How many
guys who like Orlando
Pace,
right?
Right.
Guys like that with the pancake stuff.
Yeah.
Guys who have names coming into the draft from the offensive line. there aren't a ton.
No.
So what I'm saying is the average fan of the average NFL team is probably not going to ever be excited about offensive line picks. But they will be when their quarterback, their jersey stays clean.
Well, now, what I will say as a Browns fan, as a Cleveland Browns fan, when they drafted Joe Thomas out of Iowa, I think most of that fan base was real happy with that. Because, first of all, that franchise had not had a bona fide left tackle in eons. And there was a general feeling that was a guy that you could plug into that position and he was going to be there for 10 plus years, which he was, and ended up being a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, the one thing that as a Browns fan, and I'm just speaking from, my perspective here, we said for years, though we were always missing. We had a quarterback at times. We had some running backs. We had receivers. We never had the offensive line, the left tackle to protect those quarterbacks. Well, you had a Hall of Fame left tackle for 10 years, and you still never got anywhere with it. So that tells you right there. Football's a game where you need a whole lot of pieces. You need a whole lot of pieces to be good. Now, is Jordan Morgan a plug-and-play guy? I don't know. They've already talked, and we'll hear from the general manager of the Green Bay Packers coming up. They've already talked about him maybe even moving inside. He's a guy that could play a number of positions. He could play some tackle. He could play some guard in the National Football League. Joe Thomas, though, he was a bona fide. You knew he was the left tackle. You were going to put him there, and as long as he could stay on the field and not be hurt, which he never got hurt until the end, that was a guy that you could pencil in for 10 seasons. There just aren't a lot of those guys. I mean, if you mentioned J-Dub, like names you remember, some of the names you remember are guys that were great coming out of college, taken in the first round, but didn't really amount to much. Steve Hutchinson, the center out of Michigan, is a guy that comes to mind in that respect. But there are guys like Orlando Pace, Jonathan Ogden, guys that you had a feeling were going to be really, really good, and both those guys are wearing gold jackets. So occasionally, you get that guy at the top of the first round who has that ability to be great, and hopefully, Jordan. He's going to be going to cold weather. There's something about them Tucson boys. They like in Green Bay. They took Blake Martinez back in 2016 out of Stanford. They like them. They like them Tucson boys up in Green Bay.
What do you make of the fact that they set the record for most offensive players drafted in the first round? So the previous,
it's an offensive league.
Well, the previous record was 19 offensive players in a round, 23 offensive on the offensive side of the ball last night in the first round.
An offensive league. That is for sure. Pass. Quarterbacks, wide receivers. Congratulations to the young man, Latu, I should say. Got that backwards. Out of UCLA, who was the first defensive player taken, and that wasn't until the mid to late teens last night. So we'll dive into some of that as well. We'll hear from Jordan Morgan. We'll hear from the general manager of the Green Bay Packers. I'm not going to attempt to say his name right at this moment, because it's a very difficult one. Cricket joins us. She is the third member of our program. It is the weekend. Woo! Finally, indeed. Temperatures, in the 70s and 80s? So,
yes.
I'm going to be out playing some golf. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. I got the privilege of hosting the U.S. Marshals Survivors Fund Golf Tournament tomorrow. Looking forward to that up at El Conquistador, great outfit that takes care of families of U.S. Marshals who are killed in the line of duty. So we're going to have some fun up at El Conquistador and really try to raise some money for that outstanding organization. Carl Kolk, who is the executive director, will join us a little bit later in the show. What else is happening for folks around Tucson this weekend?
Well, through Sunday, Broadway in Tucson presents Hairspray.
Saw it.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Saw it on Wednesday night.
You like?
It was pretty good. I really enjoyed Hairspray. Yes.
All right. So that's at Centennial Hall through Sunday. This evening, Rihanna listening party at the Revel Wine Bar on 9th Street.
Have you ever been to Revel?
No, I've never been there.
It's kind of a small, quiet place. Right there as you make the right coming under the bridge.
Have you ever been to Rihanna listening parties? Real question.
That's the real question here. No, I have not. Just at the Super Bowl that one time.
Right.
when, she was performed for like 15 minutes. That was fun. Also for a great cause this weekend, celebration of kindness to benefit Ben's Bells tomorrow night from 6 to 10 at the Monica on Congress. Get details at bensbells.org. And of course, for the kids, for everybody, Pima County Fair runs through Sunday. PimaCountyFair.com for all the details and schedules.
I didn't get out there. It does not look like I will, but maybe next year.
Yeah.
All right. So what's going on with you? You don't have any tickets? You have any tickets to give away today?
It's a
Or
secret.
you gave away all your tickets?
I might have given them all away.
Jeez.
I have to check our station stash.
There we go. I want Yachtly Cruise here next Friday night.
Yo.
We already bought our tickets though. So, but if you see any free ones around, maybe we'll give those away or something.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives. With your traffic and your weather, we are going to hear from Jordan Morgan. Ken Hockamy, also the new athletics director of Pima College. We'll talk to him later this hour.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Grant Road at I-10 reported crash, reported on Grant at I-10. Grant Road east of First Avenue, a reported brush fire. Some slowdowns, of course, as usual, on Grant at I-10 at Campbell and Glen, and also at Grant and Campbell. Other collisions, Valencia and Nogales Highway and Kolb Road and Sunrise Drive. 53 the low, 76 tomorrow and sunny, 82 breezy on Sunday, 82 and breezy now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Wildcats Radio is the one and only home of Jim Rome and CBS Sports Radio.
I'm not going to sit here and lie. It's nice. It's good.
Tucson knows the home of the jungle is also your home of the NFL. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
And that's why Alaska vacations are gonna be so important.
Sorry I'm late.
Where have you been?
You're gonna love this. Speak for yourself.
Make it quick. We have to remind people that getting an Alaska vacation right now means cool, comfortable air all summer.
Okay, so check this out.
Right, because when Alaskan AC Alaskifies, we do more than just tune up your AC.
Exactly. So my idea is...
We clean, test, tighten, and bring your AC back to the way it was when it was installed.
Yeah, here's what I'm thinking.
People don't realize most of the repairs we do could have been prevented through our thorough Alaskification.
But best part is, Alaska vacations come with a 1-year no-breakdown guarantee.
But
a whole year of knowing your AC is healthy.
Okay.
And if it's time for a new AC, we built the Grizzly especially for Arizona summers.
I'm going to get the technicians ready to Alaskify the city.
But...
And I'll make sure the dispatchers are getting our people out fast.
But...
Cool idea, Gary.
Yeah, Gary. See ya.
Schedule at AlaskanAC.com.
It's time for the 2024 NFL Draft. NFLShop.com has everything you need to welcome the newest class of rookies with the largest assortment of officially licensed draft gear for all 32 teams. Shop official New Era draft caps, draft t-shirts, jerseys, and more. Get ready to rep the newest members of your team for the 2024 season with an unbeatable selection of gear to showcase your team pride and style. To shop now, go to NFLShop.com.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Get the backyard you've always wanted with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you're ready to dive in, then visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Schedule now and get 3 months of full service free. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. First Choice Pools, the first and only choice.
Wildcats Radio 1290 has a chance for you to win one of 3 trips to see the Taylor Swift Eras Tour this fall. Winners receive round-trip airfare for 2, a 2-night hotel stay, 2 tickets to the concert, and $500 in spending cash. This is your text word. Cruel. Text CRUEL right now to 95819. That's 95819. Listen weekdays between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. for your text keyword to win tickets to see Taylor Swift on the Eras Tour. Only on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hi, you know me, Scott Lehman from ScottSaysYes.com. Check out this month's Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar powered by Premier Auto Center.
Visit the Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar at wildcatsradio1290.com to find out what community events are coming up in the Tucson area. You can also find Wildcats Radio 1290 events, upcoming sporting events, and more. Get the details and get involved with our community at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Go to ScottSaysYes.com today.
Don't let spring allergies make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution trusted by over 4 million people, Navage. Only Navage uses suction to flush out your sinuses using refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at your local Sam's Club in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better immediately at Sam's guaranteed best price. Navage, Navage. Breathe easy.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is everywhere. Wildcats fans can listen to us everywhere on our all-new app. Now available from the Google Play Store and the App Store for iPhone users. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the sports tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. We've got coming up today for you Ken Hockamy, new athletics director at Pima College. He'll replace Jim Monaco, who we had on earlier this week. Ken Hockamy is the baseball coach out at Pima College. He'll join us. Dyrell Joyner from up in Phoenix. He's at the Suns game tonight, getting you set for Game 3. We'll talk to him. He about a month ago, actually, I think it was, tweeted out that the Suns were the best team in the NBA. And I tweeted him back and I said, are you sure about that? You sure you want to go down on that vine? So we'll have to get him on and see if he's still willing to go down on that vine. And Carl Kalk will also join us. He is the executive director of the U.S. Marshals Survivors Fund. I mentioned that I'm going to be emceeing their golf event out at El Conquistador Resort tomorrow, so looking forward to that. Also, we've got the spring game. So real quick, there could be bad weather tonight in Seattle. Arizona baseball opening up a 3-game series with the Washington Huskies. We're hoping at last check the sun was out, which is a good thing. The sun was out around 1, but that can quickly change up in Seattle. You never know. So we're hoping there's no rain out tonight because there is a possibility, but I just wanted to let you know we might not broadcast the spring game tomorrow if the Wildcats baseball team gets rained out tonight and they have to play a doubleheader on Saturday because what they're planning to do there is tomorrow's game is scheduled to start at 2. They're going to move, if they have to play a doubleheader, they're going to move the first game to 1, and then they're going to play the second game at 6. And so we would not be able to, obviously, then to broadcast the spring game for you. So just keep it tuned right here to us. Keep your eyes on our social media accounts, Twitter at Wildcats1290, Facebook at Wildcats Radio 1290. We will let you know. But if there's baseball tonight, you'll know that we'll definitely have some spring football for you.
There is
tomorrow.
Positive news. The voice of the Wildcats, Mr. Brian Jeffries, texted me about 3 minutes ago, and he says, and he's from that part of the country.
Yes.
I mean, he's from Washington. So he says he's about 90% sure the game tonight will happen.
Outstanding. That's what we want to hear. Wildcats trying to extend their conference winning streak and just continue to play fabulous baseball on the road. The first place Arizona Wildcats. We'll hear from Garen Caulfield as well coming up a little bit later in the program, the outstanding second baseman for your Arizona Wildcats. Right now, though, we want to hear from Jordan Morgan, taken in the first round by the Green Bay Packers, the second Tucson high school player drafted by the Packers in this century, joining Blake Martinez, who was taken by the Packers as well as a senior out of Stanford University. And Jordan met with the media after his draft last night, talked about just the nervousness of waiting to find out where he was going to go.
I was anxious the whole process. I mean, leading up to this day, anxious the whole time. Everybody asking me where I'm going. I had no clue. So, I mean, the whole process was just so crazy. And when it happened, man, my heart stopped. It was just everything froze. And then I got that call.
Go ahead, Steve McGargy.
Congratulations. I was just wondering about the process about coming back from the torn ACL. First, had you planned on entering the draft last year before the injury happened, and just how were you able to come back as rapidly as you did from such a serious injury?
Yeah, so I was already planning to declare for the draft last year. Then ACL happened, so just had to pretty much put my head down and work. I mean, I attacked it pretty hard. In the weight room, in the training room, I did 3 times a day, even just trying to beat the timeline of an ACL injury. When they told me that it was going to take so long, and I just didn't want to wait so long. I felt like a liability. So just getting back on the field was the most important thing for me. So just grinding it out every day was something that I attacked.
Go ahead, Ryan Wood.
Jordan, congratulations and welcome to Green Bay. I'm curious, how much have you heard from the Packers over the course of this pre-draft process just about what your positional fit is on this offensive line? I know you played obviously left tackle at Arizona, but what's the feedback you've gotten from them?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard from them a few times, and I'd play anywhere that they put me. I mean, I'm good at adapting to anything. Put me at guard, put me at tackle, it wouldn't matter. I just want to play and win for the team.
Go ahead, Bill Huber.
Hey, Jordan, I'm wondering, I know you played all left tackle, like all your snaps, but did you do guard at the senior, but any all-star games, at practice, anything at all?
A few times in practice, just in the individuals, getting out of a 3-point stance, I'm already comfortable with. So just translating that adding that to my toolbox. And I understand the guard position. I know everything happens quicker in the inside, and I'm athletic enough and flexible enough to do that type of thing.
Wes Hodgwitz.
Hey, Jordan, congratulations. To follow up, if I can, just with you coming off that ACL, what did it mean for you to not only get back, but also perform as well as you did and being able to actually get the all-conference honors?
Wait, what did you say at the beginning? Sorry.
Oh, just congratulations on, coming to Green Bay. Just what did that mean for you, not only just to come back from the ACL, but then, perform as well as you did and being able to make the all-conference team?
It meant so much to me. Like I said, I grinded so hard. I didn't want to feel like a liability. I felt like I was leaving my team in the dust, just sitting there on the sideline and slowly healing from an injury. So I just didn't want that to happen. And that was kind of my motivation, was to get back on the field with my teammates. And it was my last year, so I wanted to do it right and play every game and go out the right way.
Mike Clemens.
Jordan, can you think of a couple of games last year that really showcase your ability to pass protect out there?
Yeah, I'd say UCLA and Mississippi State.
Bill Huber.
I'm sure you've heard the arm length thing a few times in your life or during the draft process. Is that going to prevent you from playing tackle, or do you have the confidence in yourself that you can play tackle despite that?
I have the confidence for sure. I've been playing it my whole career. It's something that is already second nature to me. I can get out there and do whatever I need to do. And then the arm length isn't a problem for me. Like I said, I use my arm length pretty well, and I'm very athletic.
Any other questions for Jordan? Go ahead, Ryan Wood.
Hey, Jordan, if I could just follow up, you mentioned those couple games in college where you felt like you really showcased who you are as a player. It's not as easy for us on the outside, right? With offensive linemen, there's no great stats. It's not rushing yards or passing touchdowns. What was it about those games that stood out to you specifically about what kind of player you are?
Yeah. So for Mississippi State, they say that the Pac-12 players aren't really playing enough competition or the bigger talents out in the conferences. So when we played Mississippi State, obviously, I played up to that level, and I showed everybody that it doesn't matter what conference I'm in, I'm still going to dominate on the field. And against UCLA, I mean, going against one of the best pass rushers in the nation, I mean, a lot too. So you can see me showcase my talents there too.
Lauren Helmbrecht.
Hi, Jordan. Congratulations. I was curious how you feel being drafted to such a historic organization like the Green Bay Packers.
I feel so great. I mean, I've been watching David Bakhtiari for a while, for a long time, actually, following him and studying his play. So, I mean, it feels like such an honor to be able to go to Green Bay and play.
Steve McGargy.
Just wondering, playing college ball at Arizona, being from Arizona, how accustomed are you, or have you played in cold temperatures before, and just what's going to be like adjusting to the Green Bay winters?
Yeah, I mean, the coldest I played in was probably 29 degrees in Utah, and I mean, I already know what's going to come. I mean, Green Bay is really cold. I've heard it before, and I mean, I'm good at adapting to anything. So honestly, we're going to see how that turns out when the winter comes.
Wes Hodgwitz.
Jordan, you mentioned obviously wanting to be back out there with your teammates this year. What did that mean for you to wear the captain's patch and being able to get that, as your last year with Arizona?
Yeah, so I mean, that meant the world to me. I mean, all these players looked up to me on the team. Everybody saw me as a great leader. I led by example. I was vocal with the guys. And I mean, I wanted to get back out there on the field and show that I was a leader and show that I am who they say I am, or who they think I am. So, I mean, it was a really big honor for me to wear that C on my chest and be one of those guys that everybody looked up to.
Ellie French.
Jordan, congratulations. I'm just curious how much, I don't know if this was asked yet, but how much conversation was there between you and the Packers leading up to this draft?
Yeah, so, I mean, we talked a bit. I mean, we didn't talk a lot, but I mean, I guess it's how it works. I mean, I've heard it so many times from other players. This is how it really works.
Bill Huber.
Yeah, I read that you gained 60 pounds since you get in Arizona. How did you do that? I assume you was a focus on getting good weight and just not eating a bunch of crap. So what was the secret to that success?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm very consistent. I followed a plan. I wanted to be a starter right away. So my trainers and my nutritionists really laid it down for me and pretty much told me how it's going to happen. So I took it all serious, came up with a routine, and since freshman year, I mean, I love the weight room. I'm always in the weight room, doing everything at 100% and taking my diet seriously, even now. So, I mean, going into the league is gonna be even better.
Ryan Wood.
You mentioned a name that means an awful lot around here, David Bakhtiari, as far as watching his film. So I got to ask, what have you gleaned from all that film watching of one of the better to do it over the past decade?
Yeah, I mean, he's great with his feet, his movement. He's a very balanced player. I take that away from him. The way he moves, he's very balanced, and he has a good strike. He has a really good strike in the pass game. Really strong arms and a really strong upper body, and he can really lock people up, which is where I get my game from. I like to just lock people up and stalemate. And I mean, he's just a dog.
Go ahead, Lauren.
Jordan, how does it feel knowing that you will be playing with Jordan Love and protecting him on the line?
It's such an honor. I mean, I cannot wait to get out there and protect for him. I mean, that's what an offensive lineman is supposed to do, protect your quarterback, open holes for running back, and that's what I'm here to do.
That is Jordan Morgan out of Marana High School, University of Arizona, taken in the first round of the NFL draft last night by the Green Bay Packers, the first offensive lineman out of the U of A taken in the first round since John Fina in 1992. And I hope he's got his winter coat and he's ready to roll because it's a whole different brand of football.
He said
in Green Bay.
He said 26, and Utah was the coldest.
Yeah.
And he said, we'll see what happens when we get to Green Bay.
Yeah, you might get minus 26 at times. When
Hey,
you get to
DK, I mean,
Green Bay.
it probably took you about a year moving to Tucson before you came acclimated. That's like the general thing. You know, Coach Lloyd talks about that a lot, like how he's cold now, wasn't maybe 3 years ago. I think the same applies, right? I think after a little bit of time out there, I think he'll be just fine. Even a Tucson boy can adapt to the cold. No problem.
No question. No question about it. Some great offensive linemen in the history of the National Football League have done very, very well lining up on the turf at the frozen tundra at times at Lambeau Field. 520-848-1290. If you want to talk about Jordan Morgan, did you know him? Did you play with him? Did you grow up with him? We want to hear from you today, how you feel about your guy getting a chance to play in the National Football League and being drafted in the first round. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. All right, Ken Hakimi, the baseball coach at Pima College, is the new athletics director of the Aztecs. He is going to join us coming up. It is DK on the Sports Tip. I'm David Kelly. J-Dub is here. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Busy travel Grant at I-10, Speedway at I-10, Campbell and Grant Road, also busy this afternoon. And some slowing for Ajo Way and Mission. And collisions, Valencia and Nogales Highway, Kolb Road and Sunrise Drive, also Grant Road at I-10. And overnight tonight, 53 the low, 76 tomorrow and sunny, 82 on Sunday and breezy and 82 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward, like banners, flyers, signs, and catalogs, some even same day. And now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Offer N61. Visit staples.com/print for details. Staples, your local print and marketing expert.
My heat and
It's spring. It's amazing outside, but not for long. I'm Ron from Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. The heat is on its way, and now is the time to service your air conditioning unit before the long, hot summer. Routine maintenance can help your AC last longer and keep your family cool and comfortable all summer long. Call today, 520-492-0748.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
This is Carl's cousin, Eugene Snarkle.
With 2 E's, as in expert.
Yes, Eugene, 2 E's, as in expert on everything. Aided by UberTube.
That's right, UberTube expert. I'm certain I can fix your car and stuff.
Eugene, unwavering in overconfidence, matched only by his ego.
It's effortless, really. I binge on 40 or 50 UberTube videos, cancel all the opposing opinions, grab a bag of tools, toss in a load of potentially necessary parts, and it very well could be repaired. I hope.
Extremely awful idea, Eugene. Instead, explore the option of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, the local's choice for affordable tires at one low price with no hidden extras and lots of credible advice.
That seems a little too easy.
Indeed it is, Eugene. Easy solutions to get your car road trip ready. Start your trip online at jackfurriers.com.
For quality auto repair and affordable tires at one low price, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, here to get you there.
Spring is the perfect time for cleaning out the clutter and updating your home. But it's also the perfect time to refresh your financial plans. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my spring cleaning list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable it was. I'm 40 and my $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. And with their same day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Spring is a time for fresh starts. Sweep away financial uncertainties and make sure your family is protected with SelectQuote.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-461-4545. That's 1-800-461-4545. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-461-4545. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
My wife and I both, we ended up mildly sick for a few months, and the nasal congestion was probably the worst part. I had like a post-nasal drip, just super congested all the time. We were taking everything we possibly could, but nothing really worked.
Kyrie was miserable until a friend recommended Navage. Navage offers immediate drug-free congestion relief, flushing your nasal passages with refreshing saline and sucking out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Don't live in misery this cold season. Use Navage so you can breathe easier, sleep better, and feel your best right away.
The biggest thing Navage has done has completely cleaned out my nasal passages. It was from the first use. I was able to just clear out anything that was stopping me from breathing correctly. Navage helps me clear the way, literally clear the way, for me to operate better in the rest of my life.
Experience the Navage difference yourself. Navage is available at Navage.com or at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage.
Ready for a staycation? Hey guys, Taylor Swift here. We're ready. Are you? Keep listening for your chance to win one of 3 trips to see Taylor Swift on the Eras Tour this fall. Shake it out. You and your bestie with Round Trip Air, a hotel room for tonight, and 2 tickets to the hottest tour on the planet. I'm having a blast on my tour, and I want to fly you out to join me. Your next chance to text a nationwide keyword happens soon. Welcome to the Eras Tour.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program today. 520-848-1290. It has been a fabulous spring over at Pima College. Both the baseball and the softball teams playing extremely well near the top of the ACC AC, and we are pleased to be joined now not only by the current baseball coach at Pima College, he is now also the new athletics director of the Aztecs. Ken Hakimi joins us. Ken, first of all, congratulations. What made you want to take on the whole entire athletic department?
Well, thank you for having me, David. I think it's a great opportunity to continue, the success that Monaco has started, and I just thought it was a great opportunity for me to try and work as hard as I can to keep that going.
Now, have you worked in administration in terms of other? I don't know if your high school ledger has included in terms of coaching. Have you worked a lot in administration before?
Not a lot. Over the last year, I have worked closely with Jim and Todd, and kind of got my feet wet in the department, filling in for Jim, going to meetings, doing some stuff when he was out, and kind of liked what I was doing and thought maybe that's something I should pursue.
What did you kind of like about that role? Like, you're in these meetings, and with higher ups at the college and whatnot, and that may not always be a fun place for folks in athletics to be. But what did you kind of like about those meetings and the role you were able to play, and maybe furthering the mission of Pima College?
Well, I think it's an opportunity for us to try and find some positive impact for over 300 student athletes that we have, and anything that I can do, that we can do as a department to help these student athletes succeed, out on the field, on the court, in the classroom especially, so they can move on and further their careers at the next level, whether they continue to play or not. I mean, it's an opportunity for me to get in and see what we can do to help these young men and women.
Ken Hakimi joining us. He is the new athletics director at Pima College. Now, Ken, I think we all do this when we look at potentially a job that we might want to have in the future. Before we get to that point, we always say, well, if I was in that position, I would do this, I would do that. So now that you're in that position, what are some of the things you want to do to push this program as a whole forward from the point that Jim Monaco was able to take it?
Well, Jim did a great job, and we owe a lot to what he was able to accomplish, and in the 5 or 6 years that he was the athletic director. It's going to be my job to try and continue some of the things that he started. There's things on the books, facility upgrades for baseball and softball are going to take place this summer. That's something that Jim had started, and it's something that I'm going to continue and make sure that happens and finish that project. We're going to get some things done in the gym as well. We're always looking for things to help our student athletes. One of the things may be working in the academic area with just our academic department so that we have a great facility for our student athletes to succeed in. We want to make sure they have the best opportunity to meet with tutors, things like that. And so, those are some of the things that, right now that are on the books to start with. But there's a whole lot of, things long term. And, it's just one of those opportunities that I have now to sit down with some people and find out what the needs are for each of our coaches, and then work as hard as I can to make sure that I can help get those taken care of.
Ken, did you feed your dog? He sounded a little angry back there.
I came home and my dogs, they see something outside and they're pretty loud. So, they're very protective. So yeah, they're good ones, but they're a little wild at times.
just a little, right?
I think my daughter had somebody, I think one of her friends just showed up to the house. So they're kind of going crazy. So I had to step into the backyard.
Very protective of their sisters, for sure. All right,
absolutely.
So you guys, on the baseball side, final weekend of ACC-AC play this weekend. So do you guys have a shot to win this thing? It looks like you're maybe one out in the loss column. So do you have a shot to win it, the conference, or no?
We don't have a chance to win the conference. No, we're going to finish second or third.
Okay.
Our magic number is 1. We need to win a game against South Mountain or Arizona Western lose a game to Cochise. And if that happens, then we'll host Arizona Western next weekend. So right now we're playing for second place. Hopefully we can play well and win at least one game and secure that spot, and then we'll have home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs.
Looking to try to defend that region championship for sure. And boy, you've got some hitters this year. A new name we hadn't really heard much about, young man by the name of Colin Sr. He's really been raking. What's kind of been the key to his season?
Colin missed most of the fall because he had an arm injury. During Christmas break, he had a minor surgery to take care of an issue in his elbow. So we missed him all fall. We weren't really sure what he was capable of doing. We knew he was a really good player when we recruited him. He started out the season on the bench. He did. He was on the bench, and we would give him a chance here and there, and he was productive. But it's been about a month now, maybe 5 weeks. We gave him an opportunity to start a few games, and he just took advantage of it and has not come out of the lineup since. He's hitting almost 400, and man, he's been really, really good for us. He's a freshman, and we look forward to seeing him again next year and seeing what he's capable of doing. He can really, really hit. He's a really good player.
He's a number of young men that you've got out of the Phoenix area. I'm curious, just how do you approach when you're recruiting up in Phoenix? Because obviously there's a number of options up there for kids to go if they want to play on the junior college level. Do you look for certain players out of that particular part of the state, or how do you just kind of focus your recruiting in Phoenix?
We're trying to find the best players for our recruiting philosophy always starts here in Southern Arizona. I mean, we're going to try and recruit and know and sign as many kids who we feel can help us win a championship from this area of the state. And then we're going to look up to Phoenix and see what we can find up in Phoenix. I don't think it's, any particular position. We're just looking for the best players. And our assistant coaches have done a great job of identifying talent and, you know, doing a good job on the recruiting trail, making phone calls and seeing kids. And you know, our program over the last few years has begun to sell itself. You know, I mean, kids understand that, you know, if you come here, you're going to develop. We've got a great coaching staff, and we're going to get you ready and prepare you for the next level. You know, we've sent, you know, over 40 kids to different Division I schools over the last 3 years. And so, you know, kids recognize that, and, you know, they want to come to a place where they have a chance to get better, they have a chance to win, and they have a chance to move on. So, you know, that's kind of what we're doing right now, and it's been successful. So it's been fun to watch.
Ken Hockamy, Pima College baseball coach, the new AD as well, joining us. One of those top local kids. Obviously, you mentioned local is always the focus. Nick Arias out of Tucson High. I remember watching him a lot play in high school for the Badgers. How has he developed in his 2 years, and what are his prospects to maybe try to get out of here and get to a 4-year school?
Well, he's had a great season for us. He really has. He was at Grand Canyon last year. So his freshman year, he spent at Grand Canyon. He was a backup behind their shortstop, who was a first-round draft pick. So he didn't get a lot of opportunity to play. And at the end of the season, he reached out and wanted to see if we had some interest. And obviously we did, and brought him in. And he's been a great player for us. Tremendous kid. I mean, unbelievable family, 4.0 student, everything you could ask for as a coach. And he's going to have a good place to play. There's a lot of people talking to him right now. I'm not sure exactly where he's going to go, but he will have a good place to be. And we're so happy that he decided to come back to Tucson.
And you guys, again, this year have been real strong on the pitching side. ERA, team ERA coming in just a little bit under 3. Your brother keeps churning those good pitching staffs out over there.
Yeah, we've had some good arms. We're fortunate. We've recruited some good players, and they've come in and developed. Jason's done a great job with a lot of them, and you know, David, that's where it starts.
Yeah.
You got to be good on the mound to be able to win some games, and we're fortunate. We have some pretty good arms. That, you know, there's some guys in our bullpen that have done a great job for us that could probably be starters on a lot of other teams in this conference. But again, they chose to come here, and they want to play on a winning team and a winning program. And some of them are having to wait their turn. You know, we've got some good freshmen that, you know, next year they're going to be really, really good players and be highly recruited kids. So it's exciting. It's exciting to watch them develop.
So in terms of the future, Ken, obviously you've been in this role as the baseball coach for 6 years. You're going to take over the AD role. You'll remain the head coach. Do you think that's a long-term assignment? At some point, will you step back and just be the AD, or do you want to do both for a while down the line?
Well, I'd like to do both as long as possible. You know, I'm going to work as hard as I can over the next year to try and be good at in both roles. And, you know, with the help of people like Todd Holthouse and Dan Bethel and Jerry Stitt, some of the people that are in the athletic department, I feel like we can make it happen. I'm going to have to lean on some people, and they understand that. But I think it can be successful, you know, on the field and with the whole athletic department. So I'd like to continue to coach, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see where that leads us.
All right. Well, we'll see this weekend. First and foremost, South Mountain on Saturday. Get that home field advantage to start the regional round locked up, and looking forward to seeing you guys have an opportunity to defend that regional championship and possibly make it 2 in a row. I would imagine the Aztecs have never won 2 in a row. Am I correct on that?
You know, I don't think so. I mean, if it did happen, it was in the early 80s, but I don't think that it's happened for a long, long time. So we're going to give it our best shot. I like our team. I've been telling our team all year that we have what it takes and we have what we need. We just got to play well at the right time. So hopefully that starts this weekend.
All right. Best of luck this weekend, and congratulations again, Ken. The program over there as a whole for the Aztecs in great hands with you leading it.
Thank you, David. I appreciate you as always, and look forward to seeing you down the road here soon.
Absolutely. Ken Hockamy, baseball coach for the Pima Aztecs. He is the new athletics director at Pima College as well, taking over for Jim Monaco, who retired earlier this week. We had Jim in studio on Tuesday. So if you missed that interview, head on over right now to our website, wildcatsradio1290.com. It's called the Jim Monaco Hour. Yes, you can hear everything that we talked about. I interviewed him. He interviewed me. We threw questions at each other. We talked about his career as a police officer and police work as a whole. Fabulous interview with Jim Monaco earlier this week. You can also find it on our app. So make sure you've got our app, Wildcats Radio 1290. Take that app with you wherever you go. All right, DK on the sports tip. Hour number 1 is in the books. Coming up in hour number 2, we're going to talk some Suns basketball. Game 3 tonight at the Footprint Center. The Suns will try to get back on track, down 2-0. They don't want to find themselves in the position that the Lakers are in, staring at elimination as Los Angeles loses again last night to the Denver Nuggets. We'll hear from Aaron Gordon as well, the Arizona Wildcat, who has been a part of that championship team with the Nuggets. Also, you will hear in the next half hour from Garen Caulfield, the fabulous second baseman for the Arizona baseball team. Cricket is here. J-Dub is here. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. If you are headed out to the Pima County Fair, just heads up, some freeway backups on the eastbound side of I-10 approaching Ajo Kino. Then travel picks up again and is slow and go and stop and go in some areas eastbound 10 approaching and passing Valencia. Valencia is closed Kolb Road to Old Vale Road due to an earlier collision. Some slowing westbound Ina approaching Thornydale. And for your weather, 53, the low 76 tomorrow and sunny, 82 on Sunday and breezy, 82 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
You want to protect her. You'll give anything to make sure nothing harms her. Every minute together makes unforgettable memories. Except that time you parked her under that tree and...
Oh, come on, man. Really?
Sorry, we'll never speak of it again. But remember who came to her rescue? Recon Auto Detailing. Arizona's premier auto detailing company comes directly to you. We'll make your masterpiece shine like it should, and with a monthly maintenance package, we'll keep it that way. Recon Auto Detailing. Online at recondetail.com.
Over the years, Lerner Rose helped over 150,000 injured people recover billions of dollars for their injuries, and over $1 billion in the last 5 years alone. What does that mean to you when you're looking for an attorney to handle your personal injury case? That means that Lerner Rowe is a law firm that not only has experience, but the proven results to recover money for your injuries. The insurance companies know which attorneys won't put up a fight. When you call us, we call them, and they know they have to pay.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
The Wildcats play here. This is your home of Arizona Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball. This is the home of the Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Free tickets to a U of A baseball game? That's what Clipper Automotive is giving you a chance to win. Clipper Automotive is now a proud partner of Arizona Athletics and would like to give you the opportunity to win a pair of tickets to a University of Arizona baseball game this season. All you need to do is stop by the shop on Thorndale Road and put your information in the Enter to Win box. Stop by to enter at Clipper Automotive. No purchase necessary. Clipper Automotive provides honest, reasonable, and stress-free automotive repair services and looks forward to servicing your vehicle.
Remember to tune in to Wildcats Radio 1290 for the biggest pregame show in the Pac-12. Because that's how we roll. We go on the air 4 hours before every football and men's basketball game all season long. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
Dan Orlovsky, are you still a Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback available in the draft guy?
I think the three things that make it stand out for me are, number one, I think his ball placement versus man coverage is the best in the draft. Every quarterback in the NFL is accurate. He's got the best on tape. Number two, most transferable stuff to the NFL. And then I think the third thing is pocket peace.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9318. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9318. That's 800-575-9318. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring Jay.
Go up. His numbers all go up. He's a crazy playoff performer. This year, though, he's only shooting like 38%. Last night, Aaron Gordon was never the focal point on any offensive play, and yet he was always around the ball, making great cuts. 12 for 18 from the field, 15 boards. He was dominant.
Yes, he was. And that's good to see. I mean, in his second season, actually, it might be his third season. Second full season, though, I think, as he came over there, I believe, mid-season the year before last, and had a chance to win a world championship with the Nuggets last year and continues to be a nice core player for the Nuggets as they look to try to repeat to that title this season. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. It is the Suns and the Timberwolves tonight. The one game is already in progress. That is Game 3 in the East, and Indiana right now handling Milwaukee. That game started early, apparently. It's already in the third quarter.
Yep.
72-57 Indiana leading. The second game of the night will be Dallas and the Clippers. That series is tied at 1-1. Last night, the Sixers got a win as they knocked off the Knicks 125-114. 50 points for Joel Embiid. 50 points. That's pretty impressive. I completely forgot that the Cavaliers were playing last night, and that was probably a good thing because they lost by damn near 40 points. Oh, not good. Not good. But they still lead their series 2-1. All right. Let's hear from some of your Suns here. J-Dub, tell me where we're going first here again.
Well, Coach Vogel asked specifically about third quarter issues because all season long, DK, they've had issues coming out of the break after halftime. In the last game, they were really into it until a big run, and Coach Vogel was asked about specifically what they need to do better in third quarters.
We got to handle their pressure smarter, and we got to be smarter, and we got to be in how we're attacking their defense. They have an elite defense, but there's areas that we want to attack within it, and the amount of movement that we want to get within that to generate more rotations. I thought we did it well in the first half, and when they made a run, I thought we reverted and got away from our movement. So we have to sustain it for 48 minutes.
You guys held them to 105, and defensively, that should be good enough.
With 30 points off turnovers.
Right.
So we're feeling good about what we're trying to do defensively. There's still a lot of ways we can be better with it. But we got to continue to do it too.
On those rotations with the closeouts, is that an area where defensively you could probably take it up a notch?
Yeah, we did a decent job on some of them, but definitely can be better.
And Frank Vogel went on to talk about how he feels his team is following the script that's been laid out for them in terms of how the Suns can win this series against the Timberwolves.
Pretty well, but it can be better. There's been some plays where we haven't executed what the scheme that we have in, and those are the frustrating ones. If you execute doing what you're supposed to do, and they score, you tip your cap to them. But too many breakdowns for my liking. Not egregious, but these are the playoffs, so every possession matters.
Is the game plan too much, too little?
No. Yeah, we just got to win one game. Whether it's game one, that's the approach. Game three, that's the approach. We're up 2 or down 2. We're evaluating what's happening on the floor and what the matchup looks like, and putting in the right plan to win game 3.
Yeah, I wish you were up 2. That would be nice with a chance to close it out here at home. Kevin Durant in the postseason averaging 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists per ball game on what the Suns need to do better tonight.
Close out defense, keeping the ball in front. They're stretching our defense out. It's a lot of long closeouts we're in, so we just got to be better at that. We contest harder at the rim, rebound the basketball. I think we did a better job of rebounding last game. But for the most part, control those closeouts and get a hand up on shots.
And obviously, it's a three-point business. You got to make three-point shots. That's kind of what the NBA does right now. We've kind of mentioned the fact that one of the Suns' best three-point shooters is not completely 100%, and Grayson Allen. We'll hear from him coming up here on his status. But the Suns in game number 2 went 8 for 22 from three-point land, and then in game number 1, which they lost by 25 points, they were 9 of 28. So they're shooting under 36% from 3 in this series. Got to be better, says Kevin Durant.
Yeah, it's three-point business, so we definitely want to try to get as many as we can up, but good shots at the right times, not shots that's going to compromise our transition defense. That's always the balance you have when playing in this era, shooting threes. So you just got to find a balance, but also just taking a good shot every time down. Can't have 19, 20 turnovers, and regardless of how we play, we can't have that many turnovers. So we keep the ball in our hands, we have a better chance to score.
Kevin, to that point, when you guys were able to get the shots up, it seemed like the quality of looks was there. Would you agree that you liked the looks you guys were getting?
Yeah. I think so. I think in the playoffs, you're going to have to take tougher shots. I think sometimes, like you said, we passed up some. I think sometimes you got to take those shots over guys and just instead of passing it to the other team, you know. So, yeah, I mean, I like what we generated. We could just do more of it.
What's the balance for you guys between respecting what Rudy does around the rim, but also just not overthinking it when it comes to the shot selection around there?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good balance to have. He's such a great shot blocker. He just deters a lot of shots. Just his presence alone deters a lot of shots. So, but it's also you got to challenge him. You know, he's a great defensive player, but there's times where you're gonna have to challenge him. So yeah, we're just finding that balance. And I think once the ball's tipped up and you kind of see the feel of the game, you'll figure that out as a player.
All right, so the third quarters have not necessarily been great for the Suns in this series. And, again, it starts there coming out at halftime. And Kevin Durant was asked about, what's Frank Vogel saying there in halftime? Is he trying to get you guys up and going? I mean, they were outscored by 10 in the third quarter in game one and 8 in the third quarter in game 2. Here's what Katie had to say about that.
We just didn't play well. We just didn't execute it. You could talk all you want. If you don't execute what you just talked about, it does you no good, So, yeah, talking and the rah-rah speeches and all that stuff is cool to a certain point, but you got to go out there and execute. And I think we haven't done that. We've done it in spurts, don't get me wrong, throughout this series. But it's not good enough doing it in spurts, So sometimes you just got to do it instead of thinking too much or talking too much. And I think we got guys that have done that before who've understood that, it's just about getting the job done at the end of the day, regardless of what's said or how you feel or what's on your heart as a person or player. Just get your job done. And I think we'll do that. But we got to put it together consistently. And I think that's what our season's been. Sometimes we put it together for long stretches and then sometimes we don't. So I could give a speech about what it's like in the playoffs or what the series was like being down 0-2 and coming back. Like, I can go give that speech in the locker room all I want. We still got to go out there and execute the game plan that we got in place and go out there and play hard as we can and get this one win. Possession at a time basketball, So, yeah, all that stuff is cool, but at the end of the day, like, these guys know what it is around this time. Like, it's playoff time. Like, everybody understands this, so I don't think we got to do anything extra.
Yeah, Jay, I would think it's a little early to be trying to give motivational speeches in the NBA playoffs. If 3 games in, I mean, that's stuff that's reserved for later on down the line. If you got to be giving, hardcore speeches right now, you're probably not going very far.
I just think the professional part of professional sports, DK, we're talking about athletes who live it. They know it. So it's not like you got to tell. You may have to explain to a freshman from Lithuania the importance of an NCAA tournament game, DK. You don't have to explain the importance of this moment to these players. They worked their whole lives to get to a place where they could play an meaningful NBA playoff game. So rah-rah stuff, and not to mention how many veterans there are on this team. But like he said right there, just a couple of sloppy passes. The key, one of my favorite things he said in the clip just before that was their balance between when to take a three and at the expense of your transition defense in this era. So we're talking about the number of 3 points flying around. If you don't have a concerted guy already ready to get back and defend transition D, so many long rebounds, that's such a factor going in. But to me, they really kind of took care of the rebounding, got killed in game 1, came back in game 2 against a very long team, one of the longest teams in the entire league. Took care of that, but they still had some bad turnovers. And the 31-2 or whatever that number was, points off turnovers differential, DK. I don't think the Suns are in any kind of panic situation. They lost to a team with a much better in-season record on their home court in 2 games. They didn't get blown out in those 2 games. They lost the battle in the third and fourth quarter in the last one. Otherwise, they were right in that game. They just have to pay attention to detail, play their brand of basketball, and put that offensive pressure more than anything. I think the biggest thing I've seen missing is a really aggressive Devin Booker, and I think you'll see that tonight back at home more than you did on the road in Minneapolis.
Well, and Grayson Allen has taken 5 shots in 2 games. Not completely healthy. Let's get an update on where he is going into game 3.
Well, if you land on somebody's foot, there's no prevention. Like, I already wear those big braces. That's kept me in a good spot for the whole year. But just, stepping on somebody's foot 2 games in a row is just unlucky, part of the game.
I know you had mentioned between games 1 and 2 having the 48 hours and being able to get some movement in practice helped you kind of test it out and get ready for game 2. Were you kind of able to take similar steps in practice today?
Yeah, it was. I didn't do everything in practice today. Did some stuff on my own before, and hopefully a little bit more tomorrow morning. Give it another night's rest, another day of healing.
So this is one of the few athletic events I can speak to on a personal experience and personal basis. But when I played basketball, I had a really bad grade 2 sprain that I was coming back off of. In the very first game, DK, I played, I went in for a rebound and came down with that perfect ankle turn on somebody else's shoe, my right ankle. Spraining an ankle after you're coming off that same ankle is rough.
It's like you could step. I mean, I remember I've sprained ankles, and you could like literally step on a rock, and it gives way on you.
It becomes much less stable, right?
Yeah.
Because that quick tweak where it goes out, and obviously shoe technology's come a long way, and a lot of these guys, you get taped. We were told, shave your ankles or we're going to tear it off with the tape, because they always got taped. Everybody's, got as much protection as possible out there. But turning your ankle in basketball, that happens pretty much every single day. So really bad luck for the guy right after he signed a contract. They really miss his outside shooting right now. But hey, next man up, he's got to find a way.
All right, we're going to talk some more Suns. Game 3 tonight against Minnesota. Daryl Joyner, Phoenix sports radio reporter, will join us coming up. It is DK on the Sports Tip. JW Madden is here. I'm David Kelly. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Valencia closed between Kolb Road and Old Vale Road due to an earlier collision. Crash at Stone and Speedway. Pretty heavy westbound backups on Speedway approaching Stone. Crash reported eastbound I-10 near Prince Road. Freeway slowing on eastbound I-10 approaching Ajo Kino. More slowdowns pick up again eastbound I-10 as you approach and pass Alvernon Way. And slowing at Ajo and Mission. 53 the low, 76 tomorrow and sunny, 82 on Sunday, and 81 breezy now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Working on my hockey link.
You're doing that. You're learning quick.
Do you know what icing is?
I love icing. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, it's the best part of hockey, isn't it?
Don't miss out on all the fun.
And that's why elastic vacations are gonna be so important.
Sorry I'm late.
Where have you been?
You're gonna love this. Speak for yourself.
Make it quick. We have to remind people that getting an elastic vacation right now means cool, comfortable air all summer.
Okay, so check this out.
Right, because when Alaskan AC Alaskifies, we do more than just tune up your AC.
Exactly. So my idea is...
we clean, test, tighten, and bring your AC back to the way it was when it was installed.
Yeah, here's what I'm thinking.
People don't realize most of the repairs we do could have been prevented through our thorough Alaskification.
But best part is, Alaska vacations come with a 1-year no breakdown guarantee.
But a whole year of knowing your AC is healthy.
Okay.
And if it's time for a new AC, we built the Grizzly especially for Arizona summers.
I'm going to get the technicians ready to Alaskify the city.
But...
and I'll make sure the dispatchers are getting our people out fast.
But... cool idea, Gary.
Yeah, Gary. See ya.
Schedule at alaskanac.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
This is Carl's cousin, Eugene Snarkle.
With 2 E's, as in expert.
Yes, Eugene, 2 E's as in expert on everything, aided by UberTube.
That's right, UberTube expert. I'm certain I can fix your car and stuff.
Eugene, unwavering in overconfidence, matched only by his ego.
It's effortless, really. I binge on 40 or 50 UberTube videos, cancel all the opposing opinions, grab a bag of tools, toss in a load of potentially necessary parts, and it very well could be repaired. I hope.
Extremely awful idea, Eugene. Instead, explore the option of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, the locals' choice for affordable tires at one low price with no hidden extras and lots of credible advice.
That seems a little too easy.
Indeed it is, Eugene. Easy solutions to get your car road trip ready. Start your trip online at jackfurriers.com.
For quality auto repair and affordable tires at one low price, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, here to get you there.
Let's see, something different for dinner. Searching restaurants near me.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Gee, same old, same old.
Wait, we're right here. Ma'am, our restaurant's just a few blocks from you. Why is she not seeing us?
Back to the usual, I guess.
Ma'am, can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you. Because you're buried deep in the list of local restaurants. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We are talking Phoenix Suns basketball as the fellows will be back on the court tonight for Game 3 of their first-round series against the Minnesota Timberwolves, coming home in a position they would really rather not be in, and that is down 2-0. Let's talk some Suns basketball. Pleased to be joined by Daryl Joyner, longtime friend, a sports reporter on the radio up in Phoenix, joining us now. And Daryl, I'm looking for that tweet you sent out about a month ago where you said what was it exactly you said? The Suns were the best team in the NBA, I think it was. Are you still willing to die on that hill?
Well, no. At that time, I think they were on a roll because if you remember correctly, they finished the season very strong. The last 10 games of the season were against playoff teams, and I think they finished something to the effect of 7-3. That last stretch that ended them in the 6th position. Now, mind you, that was the last 10 games of the regular season. As you well know, the regular season and the postseason are two different worlds because in the regular season, the Suns pretty much dominated the Timberwolves. They won all 3 games, including the last game of the season. They pretty much dominated. But what the T-Wolves have done in the postseason, they've done a great job of shutting down the big 3 as far as Booker, KD, and also Bradley Beal.
How much do you think, and we were talking right before you came on, how much do you think the fact that, and again, Grayson Allen is a bit player on this team, but a very important player in the mix. How much do you think the fact that he's not 100% and is not giving you that spacing on the floor with outside shots, how much is that hurting this team right now?
Well, that is a good point. I was at the shoot-around practice yesterday, and I asked Grayson about his availability, and he told me that he did not participate in all of the drills and the practice yesterday, and it is going to be a game time decision. The Suns just released a statement saying he is questionable, and when he rolled his ankle in Game 2, it was the second time he had rolled an ankle within a week. And as you well know, ankles are a very precarious injury, considering it does take away a lot of your lateral ability. And also in his game, his game is predicated on, again, spacing, hitting the three-point shot, which he leads the NBA right now with 46% as far as effectiveness from the three-point arc. But he has been very slowed by that ankle, and he has not been effective in the playoffs. And you have to also credit the defense that the T-Wolves have administered. If you notice that they're throwing a lot of double teams, be it three-quarter or half-quarter defensive pickups on the Suns, and they are applying a lot of physical play, which has affected the Suns to the extent of the Suns are turning the ball over, which has been a major problem for this team. In the last game alone, they had 20 turnovers, which led to 31 points by the T-Wolves, and that's the ball game.
So in terms of then that pressure, what do you think they need to do to kind of combat that?
Well, they've had a problem with turnovers because, first of all, they don't have a point guard. And you're asking Brett, and I've stressed this for much of the season, you're asking Bradley Beal, who's a scorer, a shooter, Devin Booker, a two-guard, both are two guards, and Kevin Durant, which is a point forward, but you can't have those guys bringing the ball up court, which, if you've noticed in the play of these guys throughout the year, whenever pressure is applied and the game is called loosely, there are a lot of turnovers. And you need a point guard like CP3, Chris Paul last year, when he played for the Suns. Even though he was a bit older, he was a calming and satisfying force on that offense because he wasn't turning the ball over. He was putting the ball in the hands of the scorers at the right positions and getting these guys the ball effectively. Now, if you've got guys who aren't accustomed to setting up an offense, bringing the ball up court, being pressured throughout the 94 feet throughout the entire game, you're going to have some issues, and that's the problem they're having right now with that young squad led by the Ant-Man. And these guys are very young. Jaden McDaniels, Nikhil Anderson-Walker, and these guys are young, athletic, they're big, they're long, and they're causing a lot of problems for the Suns with their offense.
Talking with Daryl Joyner from Phoenix Sports Radio reporter. He's covering the Suns and the Wolves series. I'm going to bring in my partner here, J.W. Madden, because he kind of laughed when I asked that last question because before you started answering, he said they need a point guard. So what was James? So I'll ask both of you then. Did James Jones think he could get away with this for the season? I mean, we talked about it, J-Dub, at the beginning of the year. We thought, Booker might be that guy that could go into that role. But at some point, did they not see that this was going to be potentially an issue come the postseason, not having a point guard?
Well, Tyrell, personally, I think Booker has shown at times that he's very capable of handling the ball. The issue there is when you're asking him to be so involved in their half-court offense as well, his ability to do both, wear both hats, has been off and on this year. And what you really need from that position, guys, is consistency. You need a guy like CP3. How many times does CP3 get pressed in the NBA? Doesn't, because he's such a sure ball handler. So if you had a guy on this team this year who could bring the ball up against any kind of pressure and knock down the occasional open shot, those third quarter turnover issues, in my opinion, probably wouldn't be talked about as much.
No, I agree with that, and that is a question. The Suns went out and picked up Isaiah Thomas late in the season, but as you well know...
Too late in the season, and how old is he?
Well, yeah, too late in the season. He's coming off major injuries, and it was very interesting to see if they were going to implement him into the offense when they first acquired him, but he's seen very little time, and I'm going to assume they have not seen enough of him to make him part of that rotation. And that's another issue that the Suns are facing right now. If you notice, they're playing basically 7 to 8 guys. Eric Gordon did a great job coming in for Grayson Allen on Game 2. I think he knocked down 15 points. But you need more scoring, and the issue with the Suns is they're playing in today's game, which is a 3-point predicated game, and the Suns are basically a mid-range shooting team. So what Frank Vogel has asked this team to do is put up more three-pointers to shoot more three-pointers. Well, that's well and good if you've got three-point shooters out there. And so they brought in Royce O'Neal. Now, Royce O'Neal is a capable three-point shooter.
But he didn't take a single shot in Game 2.
Well, yeah, and also if you notice that Kevin Durant was MIA for a while in that third quarter, and that's another question that was asked: how could this guy get lost in your offense, considering that he's the backbone of the team and he's not seeing the ball, and they're asking Kevin Durant not only to be one of the top scorers but also one of the top defenders. I mean, he's going up against Rudy Gobert and the likes, the Kit Kat, Carl Anthony Towns. And that's asking a lot of a guy of Kevin Durant's ilk, considering he's not a spring chicken anymore either. And do I want this guy expending that much energy on defense, considering that I'm looking at this guy, to put up some serious points, which he has not been doing in this series.
Joined by Daryl Joyner. He is a sports reporter up in Phoenix with iHeart Sports Network, talking Suns and Timberwolves. Game 3 tonight at the Footprint Center. Daryl will be on hand covering that. So can they save this, DJ?
Well, Kevin Durant said, he's been in this situation before. There's no need to panic. If you remember last year, the Suns were down to the Denver Nuggets 0-2 and tied up that series, but we know how that ended. It's very difficult. God knows it's very difficult to be down 0-2 and come back and string together four straight wins or 4 wins against a team like the Timberwolves. This team is young, it's athletic, and they're doing it with Anthony Edwards really not providing as much offensive power that he has in the regular season. He's been okay, but he hasn't been the Ant-Man that we have seen over the regular season, and they're doing this without him being the top dog right now. But Jaden McDaniels he put up 25 points in the last game, and the question is, the problem also has been that the defense that the T-Wolves are implementing, they're spacing, they're trapping the ball, and the Suns are finding themselves deep in the shot clock with guys like Yusuf with the ball in his hand with 3 or 4 seconds left on the shot clock. You can't have that. You've got to have Booker, Beal, or Kevin Durant with the ball in his hands as the shot clock is winding down. But most of these shots that they're taking have been highly contested. That's another issue that the Suns need to work on. They said they can get around that if they start passing the ball more and getting more flow in the offense and stop being so stagnant and getting into, one-on-one or hero ball.
Obviously, Daryl, there was a lot of expectation for the Suns team. Are you surprised the murmurs that we're hearing about whether or not Frank Vogel is the right guy for this particular group of players?
Well, yeah, you hear that. And, rightfully so, everyone, has to be checked on their performance. His defense is, it's his first year, a lot of injuries. He's got a couple of older players that, were banged up early on. He's basically known as a defensive coach, and his feather in his cap is winning that NBA championship with the Lakers in the bubble. But this is a quite different situation now. There's been a lot of talk about what happens if this team is bounced in the first round. You can't stand put with what you have right now. You've got to make some changes. You got to bring a point guard in here. That's for sure. And the question is, what do you have to offer other teams as far as getting some sort of return in the value of making any sort of trades? And I see 3 players right now that you could possibly get something back for with a great return. But the question is, are you willing to pull the trigger on that?
Daryl Joyner, Phoenix Sports Radio reporter, our guest. Daryl, who do you like right now in this NBA tournament? Who stands out to you?
I'm still looking at the Nuggets. The Nuggets look invincible. OKC, great young team on the rise. That squad is going to be, I'll give them a year or 2, and they're going to be tough to handle in the West. Boston scares me. Boston, as you saw the other night, didn't come to play, and it was shades of things that we've seen in the past with the Celtics, who've had the best, the record going into the finishing the regular season. They've got the best 2-guard tandem in the NBA. They've got the best talent. They bring in Kristaps Porzingis, and this guy brings a different dimension that, a 7-footer that can, go outside, go inside, flexibility, and you come up and lay an egg like that, and that's a problem because their issue, MO, has been great in the regular season. They get in the postseason, and it just does not manifest itself as far as coming up with a winning formula, and they just seem to get lost in the sauce, so to speak, when it comes down and the bright lights are on and everyone is expecting them to come out victorious.
What was you mentioned Oklahoma City? What was that stat, J-Dub, the other day? The first time all the players under 25 scored?
Yeah, they won a playoff game, and the only points scored by their organization were all by players under the age of 25.
Wow.
Never been done before.
Never, first time ever in NBA playoff history.
That whole roster, and we were talking about that on the show, other than Shea, they drafted all those guys, and that's a really homegrown group right now that they've got, and I agree. I mean, I think that's about as scary a roster moving forward, maybe a year or two down the road. But right now, it's got to be Denver's to lose. Denver and Boston are the two best teams.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead, Darryl. Sorry.
No, I was just agreeing. Great points. I was agreeing wholeheartedly.
Outstanding. Hey, Darryl, we appreciate you joining us as always. We look forward to, we got to get past this weekend. We'll hope to have you on talking more Suns basketball, but we won't know that until Sunday night. So hopefully they can continue this series, and we'll have you back as we go down the line if there is a second series with these Phoenix Suns in 2024.
Well, thank you very much, guys, for having me. I had a lot of fun, and continued success on your show.
All right. Darryl Joyner, longtime friend, worked with him in Cleveland, Ohio, longtime sports anchor in Cleveland, Washington, D.C., New York City, now makes his home up in the Phoenix area, working in the sports agent realm, as well as doing some work with iHeart Sports Network up in the Valley. All right. Getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather. Here's Cricket.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Reported collisions Campbell and Fort Lowell, Prince Road east of Oracle, Stone Avenue and Speedway Boulevard westbound backups on Speedway approaching Stone. Collision on eastbound I-10 near Palo Verde. Stay right. The collision mostly off in the median, but we do have some pretty heavy freeway backups on eastbound I-10 approaching 6th Avenue to as you approach Palo Verde Irvington. Then more eastbound I-10 slowing as you pass Valencia to Kolb Road. Valencia closed Kolb Road to Old Vale Road due to an earlier collision. And for your weather, overnight tonight, clear skies, 53, the low 76 tomorrow, and sunny. Breezy and 80 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by NexGuard Plus. NexGuard Plus, a Foxalon or Moxidectin and Pyrantel chewable tablets, is the one you want for your dog's monthly protection. Use with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Ask your veterinarian about NexGuard Plus Chews today.
O'Reilly! You need parts? O'Reilly Auto Parts has parts. Need them fast? We've got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel free. Just text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
Ready for a staycation?
Hey guys, Taylor Swift here. We're ready. Are you?
Keep listening for your chance to win one of 3 trips to see Taylor Swift on the Eras Tour this fall.
Shake it out.
You and your bestie with Round Trip Air, a hotel room for 2 nights, and 2 tickets to the hottest tour on the planet.
I'm having a blast on my tour, and I want to fly you out to join me.
Your next chance to text a nationwide keyword happens soon.
Welcome to the Eras Tour.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Are you ready to adopt? Come to the Humane Society of Southern Arizona. When you adopt from us, you will save more than one life. You'll also make room for the next pet in need. The Humane Society of Southern Arizona has been compassionately serving pets and the people who love them since 1944. Our knowledgeable adoption matchmakers will help you find the right pet for your home and support you after you adopt. We are open 7 days a week at our main campus at 635 West Roger Road. Learn more and see adoptable pets at hssaz.org.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-566-6764. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-566-6764. That's 800-566-6764. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Doug. Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it.
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Appreciate our guy, Daryl Joyner, for joining us to chat about the Suns and the Timberwolves. That game coming up tonight at the Footprint Center. That'll be a 7:30 tip-off tonight on ESPN. Well, the good thing is I can actually watch the Suns games now that they're no longer on. Well, I think actually the first round they do allow the local broadcast to do that, but the games are still on national television for everybody else, and they're not blacked out, so I can actually watch the game if I so choose to tonight.
Also, quick update on the current game. The Bucks have come all the way back. It's a 2-point game, 92-90 currently.
Whoa. Not going out so easily are those Bucks.
Giannis has not played in any of these 3 games, by the way, if you guys didn't know.
He is not. We were talking about the Lakers situation, down 3-0 to the Nuggets. Aaron Gordon had busted out. He had scored 12 points in game 1, 14 points in game 2. He's shooting the ball very well, though, in the postseason, shooting 56% from the floor. Busted out, though, last night with a 29-point performance. And afterward, Aaron talking about...
he was asked specifically what his mindset, and expectations when he joined the Nuggets team a couple of years back.
Well, quite frankly, my expectations were championships for this team. I feel like it was a great fit from the beginning. I don't think there's a lot of overlap in our starting 5. And that first year that I was traded, we were going on a run. And then Maul goes down. Next year, Mike goes down. Injuries are a part of the game, but, you take those injuries out of the game. And I feel like we would have already won a championship, So it's great playing with these guys. These guys are so damn talented, just so amazing at the sport. It makes the game easy.
I mean, we talk connectivity a lot of times about basketball, DK, and I remember those mid-'80s Celtics teams, right? Like, it felt kind of like they read each other's minds on every play. This Denver Nuggets group, if you watch them play, I mean, no lead is safe. Those guys are so connected offensively, defensively. They all know what's going down. And when you have the most dominant player in the NBA with Joker, everything runs through him. Aaron Gordon, as you just said, 10 points, 9 points, whatever it is, he's not out there looking to jack up shots. And like it was last night, when you've got such offensive firepower with Murray and Joker, Aaron Gordon finds a way to sneak in there, and he was dominant last night in that dunker spot, just always around the ball, every possession.
Do you see a change in his game since he got to Denver? Or is it just he's finally kind of matured into the player we thought
I know a lot about Aaron Gordon because we started following when he was 14, right? But here's the thing. Aaron Gordon, he played a bigger role in high school and at the U of A, less a perimeter. But when he got to the NBA, he was dead set on playing the three. And he wanted to work on his ball handling. He wanted to be, that T-Mac style of player to put guys on skates and whatnot. That never panned out. He never really developed that level of ability to get by guys off the dribble. He's maybe resigned himself to being not that guy anymore. I mean, he's not an old man by any stretch, DK. I mean, Aaron Gordon just turned 28 years old. So he's still got a lot of time, but he's really settled into the role that he plays with the Nuggets, with the Magic in his first, 7 seasons in the NBA. Because remember, he was 17 when he got to the U of A. Very, very young player. His first 7-8 years, they had a terrible team. He was the second option usually on offense. It's tough seeing all that defensive pressure. But, man, playing with Joker and Murray, nobody's really worried too much. And Michael Porter Jr. is shooting something like 75% true shooting in the playoffs. I mean, just amazing offensive firepower, and he fits in so well. It's not the same situation. He's not the same player, but he checks the boxes similar to the way Iguodala did when he moved over to the Warriors. He's always been a very, very good defender. He's a great rebounder for his size, and one of the best guys at that dunker spot in the NBA. We all know about the dunk contest and what he's capable of doing, all the way going back to his days with the Soldiers. But to me, DK, it's more about him coming to terms with what he's needed from him and just being able to fill in those spots because you play with such dominant offensive players. The team in general, just super fun to watch because all of them are on the same page.
Crazy to think it's been, this is his 10th season.
I know, and he's only 28 because he got drafted as an 18-year-old.
Right. I mean, that's just nuts when you think about it. He's already 11th all-time in terms of games played for players from the U of A. And that's just regular season games, obviously not including postseason games. He's ahead of T.J. McConnell, who's 12th. So that list goes Jason Terry, Andre Iguodala, Richard Jefferson, Mike Bibby, Steve Kerr, Channing Frye, Damon Stoudemire, Sean Rooks, Sean Elliott, Judd Buechler at 10, or Bushler, and then Aaron Gordon at 11, T.J. at 10, or 12, I should say. So, yeah, 10 years in the league already for Aaron Gordon.
Time flies, man. Time flies.
I mean, geez, I'm feeling old right now. All right, let's let you know what's happening with your Diamondbacks tonight.
Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff! Baseball stuff!
All right, the Diamondbacks will wrap up their 10-game road trip, of which they have kind of won one, lost one, started with a loss, has so far ended with a loss, so they're 3-4. Through the first 7 games of this road trip. 3 more in Seattle starting tonight. First pitch will be at 6:40 against the Mariners. So, everybody's up. The U of A baseball team is in Seattle. The Diamondbacks are in Seattle. Zach Gallen will be on the hill. Gallen's been really good this season, 3-1 with a 3.00 ERA. He'll face Emerson Hancock, the right-hander, for the Mariners. He is 2-2 with a 6.10 earned run average. Obviously, the bad news this week in terms of the Diamondbacks is that Merrill Kelly, their number 2 starter, is going to be out for a significant amount of time with the injury that he has suffered, the shoulder injury. They're going to be without him for about a month. That, according to Torey Lovello earlier this week. He was scratched from his start on Sunday on this road trip. There's been 2 MRIs. Now, they're saying, Torey Lovello had said earlier this week that Merrill Kelly will not need surgery, but they are still evaluating that. And he's 35 years old, so that's a huge, huge blow. I mean, there's been a lot of injuries so far in the early season for the Diamondbacks, but that's a big one right there when you take Merrill Kelly, your number 2 starter, out of the lineup. The Diamondbacks are going to have to do their best to just kind of tread water at this point to try to stay in this National League West race. And again, it's not anything that the Dodgers are not running away with it by any stretch of the imagination. They have won 4 games in a row, so they're starting to get a little hot. And now 16-11 is LA. Diamondbacks are in third place right now, 12-14. They're 3.5 games out, a game behind San Diego, tied with San Francisco, 5 games ahead of the Rockies, who bring up the basement at 7-19. Again, first pitch tonight in Seattle will be 6:40 as the Diamondbacks take on the Mariners. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. I mentioned we've got U of A baseball tonight. You'll hear that game right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. That's that's 6 o'clock, correct? So we're only going until around
5:50, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll probably end up in about an hour, 5:40. So you still got another hour to get in with us if you want to do so. I want to send a shout out. The Arizona women's golf team finished 6th at the Pac-12 championships, and they made the NCAA championships. They're going to be the 3rd seed over in Albuquerque, so congratulations to those ladies. I think they are, if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to go back and look at my records, I believe in the Directors' Cup era, Arizona women's golf is the only team that has made the postseason every single year, has scored points in every single year. And I've talked to a number of people who have told me that the new athletics director, and I talk a lot about the Directors' Cup if you follow my career here on TV and radio. I talk a lot about it. It's the rating system in terms for athletics departments across the country. And I'm told that the new athletics director, Desiree Reed-Francois, is big on the Directors' Cup and wanting to get as many teams to the postseason and scoring as possible. So that's going to be interesting. We'll have to ask her about that next time we have a chance to talk to her. But she, I'm told, is a big Directors' Cup athletics director. And again, I never got the sense with the Dave Hickey regime that mattered a whole lot to them, how their teams did on the national level. I think they were a little bit more concerned with winning Pac-12 championships versus getting teams into tournaments and the NCAA championships and going deep there. So that apparently is one aspect of the new leadership that is different from the last leadership here at the University of Arizona. But I wanted to, getting back to women's golf, I wanted to send a shout out to graduate senior Gili Bete Starkute. We had her on the show early in the year when golf was just getting going, probably all the way back in January. So if you missed out on that interview, head on over to our website, Wildcats Radio 1290, and look for that. But she was named this week the 2024 Pac-12 Women's Golf Scholar Athlete of the Year, becoming the 3rd golfer in program history to receive the conference's top individual academic honor. So we always want to shout out not only our athletes, but our tremendous student athletes. Gilebeti Starkute out of Lithuania. And I don't know. Yes, they did. I was looking for her grade point average. She graduated. She's in graduate school right now. She graduated from Eller College Management at U of A, got her BA in finance last year. 3.945 grade point average. She's studying marketing on the graduate side right now. And again, she's one of the top golfers in program history. So far this year, her scoring average ranks among the top 5 in season average in program history. So shout out to Gile Bete Starkute. She joins Wanasa Zhao from 2017 and Allison Walsh from 2008 as Arizona women's golfers to win the Pac-12 Scholar Athlete of the Year. Now we got to go and take over the academic side with the Big 12 next season.
Speaking of famous female athletes, apparently Caitlin Clark had her first public appearance today at the Pacers game, and they've got a race car because obviously they're famous for the Indy 500 out there. They got a race car that they have celebrities sit in and rev the crowd up, and she was the one that did that today before this home game versus the Bucks.
Nice. Caitlin Clark. I mean, they're gonna be in love with her there. She's gonna be a star for sure as we begin to get into the WNBA. In fact, I think some teams are beginning practice. I think training camps have started on the WNBA side for some of the teams, and we'll be getting into that season here in the not too distant future. Don't forget, every day here as Monday through Friday as well, we've got your Today in Women's Sports. You'll be hearing that coming up here in the 5 o'clock hour. Also, straight ahead in the 5 o'clock hour, we will let you hear from Carl Kulk. Carl Kulk is the executive director of the U.S. Marshals Survivors Fund. They've got a big golf tournament here every year. This is the third year that they've had their golf tournament here in Southern Arizona. It is tomorrow up at El Conquistador Resort. I've got the honor of being their MC tomorrow, so I'm looking forward. It's going to be a long day. Long day. I'm going to get up early. I'm going to play some golf. Hopefully, I'll get closest to the pin and maybe take home an award or two. Maybe, I don't know if there's going to be a car out there that I can win. I wouldn't mind winning a new car if they've got something like that out as a prize potential.
Hey, you got to make your first hole-in-one someday, right?
Right. Let's do that. I have not ever made a hole-in-one. I'd like to do that. So then we've got golf. We'll do that, and there's a big lunch out there. Golf is sold out, but you can still come to the lunch tomorrow up at El Conquistador, and there's going to be all kinds of silent auction and stuff. So if you want to support the U.S. Marshals Survivor Benefits Fund, we'll get into that a little bit more with Carl Kulk. They do it, again, they are the support group for families of U.S. Marshals who are killed in the line of duty. We had one U.S. Marshal who lost his life here in Tucson back, I believe it was around 2016 or so, Chase White. And so those are the folks that immediately get money into the hands of these families so that they can take care of everything that needs to be taken care of to bury their lost service members. So we'll talk to Carl. He worked for the U.S. Marshals Service for a number of years. Fascinating government job. You basically that's the unit that protects the judiciary. And so they protect judges and all kinds of things. So we'll pick his brain, get his thoughts on that. Also, we'll hear from Brent Brennan as well in the 5 o'clock hour. It's DK on the Sports Tip. I'm David Kelly. Cricket is here. J-Dub is here. We want to talk to you at 520-848-1290 about whatever you'd like to talk about. We've thrown out the Suns. So what do you think? Can the Suns turn this around? We want to hear from you on that. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Freeway slowing on eastbound I-10 from the I-10 I-19 junction to just as you pass Ajo Kino. More slowing eastbound I-10 picks up again approaching Valencia to Kolb Road. Crash clearing eastbound I-10 near Palo Verde off of the median. Valencia closed Kolb Road to Old Vale Road. Other collisions, Prince east of Oracle, Campbell and Fort Lowell, Stone Avenue and Speedway with westbound backups on Speedway at Stone. 53 the low, 76 tomorrow and sunny, 82 on Sunday, breezy and 80 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward, like banners, flyers, signs, and catalogs, some even same day. And now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Offer N61. Visit staples.com/print for details. Staples, your local print and marketing expert.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. How about that draft last night? You knew there'd be drama. Now, it didn't start off that way, but then a bomb at number 8. The Atlanta Falcons take a big swing, and they draft Michael Penix Jr. Nobody saw that coming. Certainly not Kirk Cousins, who signed that big fat contract just a few months ago. What a huge swing for Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris. I'm a big fan of both of them, but that is a big, wild swing. Even Cousins reportedly was stunned by that pick. Probably also by the fact that he didn't know about it until they were on the clock and then the team told him. According to The Athletic, Cousins' quote, biggest concern is the pick doesn't help the team for the upcoming season, end of quote. If that's the way he feels, it's hard to argue that point, because one of the biggest reasons, aside from the money that he signed there, was because he believed they could win there right now.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Shop our best savings of the season during Springfest at Lowe's. Right now, save on Stay Green 1 cubic foot garden soil. Get 5 bags for just $10. And buy 2 select paints and exterior stains and get 1 free via Lowe's gift card rebate. Shop in-store and online today because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 5/1. Stay Green offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Paint offer while supplies last. Excludes paint and stain samples. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details.
We get you so close to the action at McHale, it feels like Wilbur and Wilma are in the car with you. This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Experiencing the Sonoran Desert's natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature, built for you. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Good news, everybody. We stay on the air with you for an extra 2 hours after every Arizona football and men's basketball game all season long. That's why we are the home of the Wildcats. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This just in, Goodfellas AC is matching up to $2,000 on federal tax credit.
Whoa, seriously? This is unbelievable. I gotta call Floyd at Goodfellas.
Hello, Goodfellas. Floyd speaking.
Is it true about the $2,000?
It sure is. Homeowners like you may qualify for a 30% federal tax credit up to $2,000 on qualifying heat pumps. And Goodfellas will match the tax credit dollar for dollar up to $2,000. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
O'Reilly.
Extend the life of your engine with regular oil changes and save at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, pick up 5 quarts of O'Reilly full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $31.99. Or upgrade to a MicroGuard Select filter for just $2 more. Limits apply. Available in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. Y'all gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right, yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistent scent, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Final hour of the show as we get you set for Arizona Wildcats baseball. We'll take you probably to right around 5:40, 5:45. Brian Jeffries will be with you at 5:50. Is that correct, J-Dub? 5:50 tonight?
Yeah, open at 5:50.
Brian Jeffries, and it appears the weather's fine, so it looks like we're going to get baseball in tonight in Seattle, which is good, which means we'll have the spring game for you on Saturday. There was a belief that there might be some rain But it does not appear like the rain developed as initially thought. Weather guessers again. They said there was going to be a lot of rain today in Seattle. It didn't happen that way.
If you look at the forecast, it pretty much predicts rain every day. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's Seattle, right?
Yes, it is.
So we'll have baseball for you tonight, which means we won't need a doubleheader tomorrow. We'll have baseball tomorrow at 2, and then we will have the U of A spring game for you after that. Should be a whole lot of fun out there tomorrow at Arizona Stadium. We'll hear from Brent Brennan coming up a little bit later, get some of his thoughts on what they're planning. We got actually a schedule of events for tomorrow, and I'll read that to you real quick here about how it's going to be set up tomorrow. It's going the first quarter is going to be a 10-minute running clock. It's going to be 10-minute running clock for essentially 4 quarters. The first quarter is just going to be 7-on-7. So they're going to do 7-on-7 in the first quarter. Then the second quarter will be offense versus defense, blue-red. They're calling it the red-blue spring game. Then there'll be a halftime show, which is next level flag football game. I'm not sure if that's a team thing or if that's like something outside the team potentially. We'll be involved with that. And then the third and the fourth quarters will be 10-minute running clocks with the offense versus the defense. So it looks like we'll get about 3 quarters of team, about 30 minutes total worth of team activity in terms of 11-on-11 tomorrow. So we'll hear more from Brent Brennan on that coming up later in this hour before we get out of here. Now, the Arizona men's basketball team, we didn't get a chance to really talk about this the last couple of days. They had a signing out of the portal this week. Trey Townsend is a forward out of Oakland, not Oakland, California, that's the second year in a row we've gotten a forward out of Oakland, only this is Oakland, Michigan, not Oakland, California, like Keyshawn Johnson. Trey Townsend will come to the program, and I've got a lot of folks. Obviously, the Horizon League is Midwest space. A lot of teams that are involved in there in terms of Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, Michigan. And so I've got a lot of folks back there that work in that conference. So I reached out to some of my people when I saw that Trey Townsend was going to be signing at the University of Arizona. And I asked my one friend, just sent him a text and said, Trey Townsend, ? And this is what he sent me back. He said, good mid-major player, will be okay in the Big 12, but don't think he can shoot enough or is quick enough to be great. So then I texted another one of my buddies, and I said, Trey Townsend, ? Is he Keyshawn Johnson? Because this other particular person knows more about the whole entire game of college basketball. And his response to me was, no. So we'll see. I've not seen Trey Townsend play.
I have.
I don't, I can't tell you whether or not he's gonna be a great player. It does not appear though that if you think you're getting Keyshawn Johnson, Trey Townsend's going to replace Keyshawn Johnson. No. I think you might want to dial that back.
He's not the same player at all.
No.
2 things I love about Trey Townsend. Number one, he had no scholarship offers out of high school. So this is a guy who was probably 35, 40 pounds lighter than he is now, listed about 230. He was a very skinny high school player, DK, who got no offers, okay? He parlayed that into getting to Oakland, where he's started every single game since he's been on campus. So this is a player who, number one, didn't get any scholarship offers. Number two, has started 129 games in his college career. Last year was the league MVP. So that tells you that regardless of what somebody thinks they're going to project into as a senior in high school, some guys just have that fight and that heart, and you don't get to become player of the year in your conference after 0 scholarship offers. And the second thing I want to say, DK, is especially in that game against Kentucky, right? I mean, he wasn't the one that became famous out of that game, right? It wasn't him. It was the guy who made 9 3-pointers in the game. But I'll tell you one thing. We talk a lot about last year about the 2-3 zone, 1-3-1, and what the issues are that Arizona was having in dealing with that. Watching Trey Townsend, just cursory glance, as he is today, not what he was as a high school senior, but as he is today, he spent almost exclusively all of his time at the elbow and on the block, roaming around there, catching and then assisting, catching and facilitating, catching one quick dribble to the basket. As far as that guy a la Luke Walton, who's capable of catching there at the elbow, turning and having the defense collapse before finding a shooter in the corner or taking it strong to the rim himself, that guy took out zones by himself just by the way he played. He may not be as quick. He's certainly a little bit undersized. Shooting ability is obviously going to be a question mark if that's coming in. It's hard to become a great shooter as a fifth-year senior if you weren't for your first 4 years of your career. But as far as all those other intangibles of being able to make quick, decisive decisions and being averaged about 3.5 assists a game this last year, really, really impressed with his ability as a upperclassman to facilitate from that scorer's position. So I'm really intrigued. Obviously, coming up a level in talent, there's going to be a lot more length you have to deal with. Did a lot of his damage scoring-wise in the paint with Oakland, but I really, really like his ability to turn, face, and make quick decisions, and especially against any kind of zone. And if any indication of what we saw last year, DK, Tommy Lloyd's teams are going to be seeing a lot of zone moving forward.
Well, anybody that can help in this zone offense and understands how to operate in the zone offense, because, again, that was one of the big issues with the team last year. So that alone will be a positive for the Arizona Wildcats.
17 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists last year as the Horizon League MVP. He's listed as a junior, but he played 4 years there, so I don't know what that's all about. But, yeah, I think this is his COVID year he's coming here for.
COVID year, the last of the COVID years as we kind of get out of that mode there. So Trey Townsend, we'll see. Looking forward to getting a chance to meet him and talk to him when he gets here and seeing what he's going to be able to add to this ball club as the Wildcats move forward into year 4 now under Tommy Lloyd leading the charge. How about on the women's side? How about Charlize Ledger-Walker signing with UCLA? That was the big news last night on the women's basketball front. And we also did not mention this early in the week. Kaylin Gilbert signing with LSU. Out of Arizona, the transfer, the leading scorer for the majority of the team who left the program late in the season, is going to be playing now for Kim Mulkey down with the LSU Tigers. Now, they've signed a lot of guards, so we'll see how they've gotten quite a few guards out of the transfer portal as Kim Mulkey to face Haley Van Lith, who has left, and I don't know. She said there was reports she was going to sign with TCU, but then she said, no, I haven't even made a decision yet.
Somebody broke news that apparently wasn't true.
Yeah. But still, TCU, and that was the team with Maddie Connor that got hurt and had to forfeit games and had to take a player off the volleyball team after they started 13-0 and then kind of stumbled their way through the rest of conference play. But that guy's getting a lot of players. He's getting a lot of kids out of the portal. He's kind of rebuilt that team through the portal. And if he can get a Haley Van Lith, I think there's going to be quite a few more eyes on TCU next year.
You can't talk UCLA women's basketball without mentioning Lindsey Gottlieb got extended through 2030 today.
Yes, good decision by the team across town at USC to lock her up, because she again when she got there.
Is Juju going to be playing till 2030? Probably not.
Playing like basketball? Oh, is she going to be? What? How long is that? That's only.
I'm just making a joke there. Like Lindsey Gottlieb's had success there, but USC had pretty much like a banner year last year relative to the last couple of decades. Juju Watkins, a big part of that.
Yeah, hand Lindsey Gottlieb the keys to the program there. You'll be okay for sure. She was one of my. I liked her and her teams when she was at Cal before she went to the Cavaliers, and then obviously I really liked her because she was with my team, working on the NBA level. Joining us back is the third member of our program, Cricket. Cricket, what are your big plans for the weekend?
Homework.
That's right. Homework.
Yeah.
Finals.
It's the final push.
So when is it all over? When are you done?
I think it's May 14th or 15th.
You still got a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
But these are like big papers that we've been working on like all semester. And
all right.
Yeah, so that's super fun. What about you guys? What are you boys doing?
Well, I've got the golf thing
Oh, yes,
tomorrow with
true.
the United U.S. Marshals Survivors Fund, so that's going to be a whole lot of fun. And then the spring game tomorrow night.
Mhm.
And then, I don't know, we may try to play some golf on Sunday.
Again,
Get out I haven't played in again. I haven't played golf. Well, yeah, I'm playing tomorrow. So, again, yes, I'm thinking, but tomorrow I'm playing in a scramble. Sunday I'm playing, like, for real.
So you're warming up tomorrow. It's a little
For
warm
Sunday.
up. Yeah, exactly. Gotcha.
Exactly. So, I think that's probably going to, I don't know if we're going to go look at houses again this Sunday or not.
That sounds like not a lot of fun.
Sunday brunch and house shopping.
Brunch and house shopping.
Your
Yeah.
wife doesn't like the word brunch.
No, she does not. See?
remember that.
You remember that.
Yeah.
She does not like the word brunch. She does not like that.
But does she like mimosas?
I like mimosas more than she, because I'm an orange juice freak.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, she doesn't really drink a lot of orange juice, but I drink orange juice like it's, water. So I'm more of the mimosa person than she is. All right, what is happening this weekend? We ran into a few things. We've got the Pima County Fair, obviously, going on. What else is happening this weekend here in Tucson?
Something tomorrow that might be fun for the kids. Kids can read to a dog at Woods Memorial Library on First Avenue south of Prince. It's kind of for kids to practice reading out loud, like in a stress-free, like relaxing, no judgment from the dog. And it's free. It's 10:30 a.m. till 11:30 a.m. tomorrow at Woods Library.
I've met dogs that were very judgmental, by the way.
Excuse me.
It can't happen.
I hate to tell you, my dog would be that dog.
It can
saying,
happen.
Now, you two have dogs. Like, do you read to your dogs? Does that calm them? Does that work?
Yeah, my dogs might as well be Ivy League dogs. No, one of my dogs is really dumb, and one of my dogs is really smart. So there's always a balance.
Little balance there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Also, there's tomorrow a silent disco meets flash mob with silent adventures tomorrow, 4 p.m. Main Library, $25 for adults, $15 for kids. At the Loft Cinema on Speedway, it is the 20th anniversary of Mean Girls tonight and tomorrow.
Ooh, are they showing the original movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. And also starting tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at the Loft Cinema on Speedway, it is the 12-hour all-night Scream-O-Rama. 12 hours
Bring your
of horror
pajamas.
movies. Yeah.
Now,
they're
this
gonna
is
have
where?
At the Loft Cinema
Oh,
on
Loft,
Speedway.
okay.
Yeah. And they'll have like a food truck there so you can
Yeah.
get your nourishments in between movies. You're going to be screaming a lot, so you need to eat. You need some food in your belly, right?
So do we know what the movies are? Is there a
few
list?
of them that I looked at, I saw
Okay.
Nightmare on Elm Street,
Okay.
Saw.
Saw.
There were a couple others now I can't remember. But a good list of movies. And a couple that I think are cult classics that maybe I've never seen.
All right.
12 hours of horror movies.
Do you like horror movies?
Some of them. I couldn't do 12 hours.
Are you a horror movie person, J-Dub?
They don't bother me, but I don't seek out that thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't have that thing. I did have my first ever walk out of a movie theater experience at the Loft.
Ooh.
We saw Creepshow when it came out, and I must have been 9.
Scary,
or
though.
10 at the
you
time.
walked out because it was too scary?
Yeah. My sister
wow.
Laura took me, and she's 10 years older. And I remember a scene. I remember going into the lobby and getting some kind of raisinets or something. I'm like, I'm not going back in there. There's scary zombies in there.
Yeah, that would be scary for an 8-year-old. And now 8-year-olds nowadays would see that and say, "Oh, that's so lame."
Exactly.
That's so lame. And also, as you mentioned the Pima County Fair through Sunday, PimaCountyFair.com.
And Roadrunners tonight, game 2 at 7. If we need them to win so they can play a game 3 on Sunday as well. Cricket, have a great weekend.
You too.
She's getting you home with your traffic and weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather. Together, eastbound side of I-10, some slow and go and stop and go in some areas. Eastbound I-10 between 6th Avenue to nearly Rita Road. Might be due to fair traffic. At Oracle and Prince, traffic signals malfunctioning, collisions, Kolb and Escalante, also Stone and Speedway. 53 the low, 76 tomorrow and sunny. 82 on Sunday and 79 and breezy now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Economy Plumbing Service. If water goes through it or to it, we do it. 885-3510.
What do you do after celebrating 100 years in Tucson serving the community? Well, you get up the next morning and continue to do things that got you to the next 100 years.
O'Reilly
Chevrolet. Did you miss the big game? We got you covered.
Got a man wide open to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Arizona. Nobody close to Tetaroa McMillan.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
This just in, Goodfellas AC is matching up to $2,000 on federal tax credit.
Whoa, seriously? This is unbelievable. I gotta call Floyd at Goodfellas.
Hello, Goodfellas. Floyd speaking.
Is it true about the $2,000?
It sure is. Homeowners like you may qualify for a 30% federal tax credit up to $2,000 on qualifying heat pumps. And Goodfellas will match the tax credit dollar for dollar up to $2,000. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Don't let spring allergies make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution trusted by over 4 million people, Navage. Only Navage uses suction to flush out your sinuses using refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at your local Sam's Club in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better immediately at Sam's guaranteed best price. Navage, Navage. Breathe easy.
Listen to the home of the Wildcats wherever you are on your iPhone and iPad by downloading our new app in the App Store so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Remember, the one and only play-by-play home for Arizona athletics is 1290. So if you're listening to Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball, you have it locked on 1290. Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
I just think it's the preparation and the confidence that we carry with us every day. You know, everybody's focused right now, and really it starts back in the fall. We knew we had a good group of guys.
Absolutely. I started my career as a deputy U.S. Marshal and working in Tucson back in the 90s, and lived and worked there for 4 years, and then I was up in Phoenix for an additional 4 years. So I have a long history and lots of connections to Arizona and Tucson in particular.
So now for folks that maybe aren't familiar with what U.S. Marshals do, what exactly is the role of a U.S. Marshal?
Well, the U.S. Marshal Service is an executive branch agency, but it serves as kind of the enforcement arm of the United States court system. And so they have a number of programs for which they're responsible. They are responsible for producing federal prisoners prior to their trial in the federal court system. They run the asset forfeiture program for the Department of Justice. They're responsible for the witness security program inside the Department of Justice. And they're also responsible for fugitive investigations, both at the federal level as well as state and local level. And then they also have a judicial security program that's responsible for protecting federal judges, federal prosecutors, other executive branch employees, and investigating threats that might be made against those individuals as well. And so those are the major duties that the Marshal Service performs.
What drew you to this line of work?
Well, I was a criminal justice major in college, and came out and I worked for another agency for a number of years, doing white collar fraud investigations, and kind of really wanted to do some more traditional law enforcement, and so the Marshal Service has a wonderful reputation, obviously, and does a lot of great work in a lot of different areas. And kind of the diverse mission set is kind of what drew me to the Marshals. I mean, you might be on a protection detail for a threatened judge or a prosecutor one day, and then 2 days later you're out on the street on a fugitive investigation. And so that diverse mission set kind of drew me to the agency.
And obviously it sounds a lot like police work, but how is it different, I guess, in that realm?
Well, it's different from the standpoint of, I mean, we work as a federal law enforcement agency, so most of our work is around, again, centered around that federal court system, although we have a number of task forces around the United States that we work with our state and local tribal law enforcement partners on fugitive investigations. And so there is some, what I would say, work that's very close cousin to police work, obviously, but most of our work is centered on the federal court system.
Carl Kalk is our guest. He is the executive director of the U.S. Marshals Survivors Benefit Fund. It was set up back in 2012. Why did you guys set this fund up?
Yeah, so the fund started in 2012. In 2011, the agency had a particularly devastating year in that we suffered a total of 10 line of duty deaths of either deputy U.S. Marshals or special deputy U.S. Marshals. That is, task force officers who have been sworn in as special deputy U.S. Marshals. So we lost 10 individuals, unfortunately, in 2011, and it kind of brought home the fact that we didn't have a process by which we could provide financial assistance to families right after a line of duty death. I mean, obviously, insurance comes into play and some other types of assistance come into play, but generally that's weeks or months down the road. And so we wanted to start a fund that would provide immediate financial assistance to families and then also provide educational assistance to surviving spouses and children down the road as well.
And the first marshal was shot and killed in 1974, U.S. Marshal Robert Forsyth. Again, you talk about how this fund was set up after you lost a number, 10 deputies and special deputies in the line of duty in 2011. Obviously, this is something that hit close to home here in Tucson back in 2018 when Marshal Chase White was shot, the first marshal to lose his life here in Tucson in some 66 years. So the families, they don't have to reach out. You guys immediately reach out to them and provide a process.
Absolutely. As soon as we have a very close relationship, even though we're a private organization, we have a very close relationship with the agency. And whenever a line of duty death occurs, we're in close contact with the agency. We immediately start working with the agency and their critical incident response team to reach out to the family and make arrangements so that we can meet with the family. Our goal is to have a check in their hands within 24 to 48 hours after the line of duty death occurs.
Wow. Carl Kalk, the executive director of the U.S. Marshals Survivor Benefit Fund, is our guest. It is the Desert Golf Classic coming up this Saturday up at El Conquistador Golf Course. This is an event, the golf event started up in Phoenix. How did it get down here to Tucson?
Well, we had it in Phoenix for a number of years, and it was very successful. And then during the COVID years, we kind of went down and we didn't have an event. And then following Chase's unfortunate passing in 2018, in late 2018, we started having conversations with the folks in Arizona and came to the realization that it made great sense to maybe move the tournament down to Tucson and have it in southern Arizona instead up in the Phoenix area. And so we did that 3 years ago, and it's been extremely a successful event since then. And we're proud to be able to come back again this year and have it in the Tucson area.
And it's an honor for me. I'll have a chance to be the MC of this event coming up Saturday up at El Conquistador. How much money do you all raise from this event? And is this your primary fundraiser? Do you have other fundraisers throughout the year?
We do have some other fundraisers. This is one of our major events. We have a large golf event in the Washington D.C. area that we do every October, and that and this event are probably our primary fundraisers. And last year, I believe we raised over $70,000 at this event in Tucson, and so like I said, it's been very successful. It's just a great event to get a bunch of folks together and play golf, and we have a lunch afterwards and an awards program, and not only get together and enjoy one another's company, but then also remember why we're actually there.
Who are some of the folks, Carl, that you all award every year? Is it different people that are involved? How do folks get in line to be awarded?
Yeah, so every year, in terms of the awards program, it's just the awards program for those who are going to be winning the winning golfers at this year's tournament.
I see. So if I get the closest to the pin, I might be one of those people.
Absolutely. We've got the low scores for the teams, obviously, and then we've got a longest drive event. We've got closest to the pin event.
Is there a farthest from the pin award? Because that's usually my shot.
Yeah, me too, David. Yep, absolutely. There'll be a lot of competition for that, I think.
Carl Kalk is our guest. He is the executive director of the U.S. Marshals Survivor Benefits Fund. Are there spots still available at this point, Carl, or is it all sold out?
Well, the golf, unfortunately, has sold out. We do have, if folks would like to come out and just attend the luncheon, we're going to have some raffle prizes and a couple of auction items that we'll have for auction and the awards program, like I said. So if folks would like to come out for that, there is some registration still available for that. And the cost of that is $40, includes the buffet lunch and then the program and the auction. And the raffle prizes that will be a part of that as well.
And in terms of the lunch, if folks did want to come out for that, because the golf will be before that, what time should they be out at the resort?
I would say the luncheon will probably take place around 1:00.
Carl Kalk is joining us, executive director of the nonprofit U.S. Marshals Survivor Benefit Fund, the Desert Golf Classic happening this Saturday out at the El Conquistador Golf Course. I want to talk a bit about your career, Carl, because it's very interesting. You spent 27 years working in federal law enforcement. One of your jobs was essentially you mentioned talking about protecting the judicial branch of the federal government, and this is all over the country that you guys do this. Some 400 U.S. court facilities nationwide. What's that like to be in charge of trying to protect our judicial system, especially, obviously you're retired now, but especially now in an age where we're seeing an increased amount of threats against folks that are involved in our judicial system?
Yeah, it was. I tell you, it was an honor to serve as the assistant director for our Judicial Security Division whenever I was assigned to headquarters. And you're right. It is a kind of a daunting proposition when you look at the number of judges that we have and the number of prosecutors as well as other civilian employees in the court family and in the executive branch for which we're responsible, as well as the physical security of all of those facilities. It's a daunting task, but at the same time, it's very rewarding to be able to go in and investigate threats or inappropriate communications and then be able to mitigate those and address those so that we have a safe and functioning judicial system. Our goal, obviously, is that under the rule of law, you need a fair, impartial judicial system that operates without any type of threat or coercion. And so for us to be able to go in and kind of serve as the protector and the investigator of those threats so that we can ensure that fair and impartial judicial system inside the United States is a great honor for us to do it. And I obviously enjoyed working for the agency, and those who are there now are doing an outstanding job as well.
The U.S. Marshals Survivors Benefit Fund is a non-government entity. It is a component of the United States Marshals Service. So if folks want to donate, I would imagine they can go to usmarshallsfund.org and do so there.
That is right. Yeah, that's our website, and you can go and that kind of explains in a little more detail about what we do. The website also includes our Wall of Honor, and so it not only includes the individuals to whom we provided assistance since our inception, but there's also shows all of the deputy marshals and special deputy marshals who have lost their lives since the first one. You mentioned Robert Forsyth. That was in 1794. That he actually lost his life.
I misread that. So I said 1974. 1794. Yeah, you are correct.
Yeah, so the Marshal Service was created in 1789. It's the oldest federal law enforcement agency, and unfortunately, kind of given the age of the agency and the nature of the work, we've lost more officers and deputies than any other federal law enforcement agency. And so that website not only talks about kind of what we do, but again, it has that Hall of Honor, and folks can donate through that website as well. We're proud to say that, since we've been as a nonprofit since 2012, we've been able to provide a high level of assistance. Unfortunately, we've had 20 line of duty deaths since the inception of the nonprofit organization, but we've been able to provide through financial assistance directly after those deaths, as well as education assistance. We've been able to provide well over $500,000 to those families.
Hey, Carl, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us. Once again, it is the Desert Golf Classic. The golf part of it is sold out, but there will be a luncheon out at the El Conquistador Golf Course. If you wanted to come out for that on Saturday to be a part of just this extraordinary organization, I'll be out there with a chance to meet a lot of folks and MC this fabulous event. And Carl, we look forward to this becoming a really huge annual thing, continuing to be an annual thing that we have here in Southern Arizona. We look forward to seeing you this week.
Absolutely. Look forward to seeing you and everybody else later this week on Saturday. And thanks very much for having us on. I really appreciate the time, David.
Carl Kalk, the Executive Director of the U.S. Marshals Survivors Benefit Fund. Again, it's going to be a great event out at the El Conquistador Resort on Saturday. Tomorrow, looking forward to the golf and the fellowship and getting a chance to meet some of those folks. We may try to do an interview or two with a surviving family member just to kind of get their thoughts, and we'll try to present that to you maybe next week on the show here as we get going into the new week. But again, if you'd like to join us for lunch out there, please do so. It's for a really, really good cause. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Let's get cricket. We'll get traffic. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up here as we get you set for Arizona Wildcats baseball. We'll let you hear maybe a little bit from Garen Caulfield coming up, maybe a quick bite or two from Brent Brennan. We'll see what we can squeeze in. You're listening to DK on the Sports Tip. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. The eastbound side of I-10, you got freeway slowing eastbound 10 approaching 6th Avenue to nearly Rita Road. Slow and go in some areas, stop and go in some other areas. Again, on eastbound I-10 approaching 6th Avenue to nearly Rita Road. Had an earlier collision that occurred at Stone and Speedway and Stone. And for your weather, overnight tonight, 53 the low, 76 tomorrow, and sunny, and 79 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
Do you need your home repiped? Having trouble with your water heater? Leaking toilet? Have you ever thought about an instant recorded seweroscopy? Then call Economy Plumbing Service at 885-3510. Because if water goes through it or to it, we do it. Economy Plumbing, 885-3510.
Cummings Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, where we always give you a free estimate before we get started.
ROC number 113429.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America N.A. Copyright 2024.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Is Charlie Woods the most anticipated, follow in the footsteps child of an athletic Hall of Famer we've ever had? Bronny James, as good as he may be, still has to compete within the parameters of a team sport. Golf is individual. Dale Earnhardt Jr. came along just at the beginning of the social media era. I don't know that there's anybody else.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
And that's why Alaska vacations are going to be so important.
Sorry I'm late.
Where have you been?
You're going to love this. Speak for yourself.
Make it quick. We have to remind people that getting an Alaska vacation right now means cool, comfortable air all summer.
Okay, so check this out. Right, because when Alaskan AC Alaskifies, we do more than just tune up your AC. Exactly. So my idea is...
we clean, test, tighten, and bring your AC back to the way it was when it was installed.
Yeah, here's what I'm thinking. People don't realize most of the repairs we do could have been prevented through our thorough Alaskification.
But best part is, Alaska vacations come with a 1-year, no-breakdown guarantee.
But a whole year of knowing your AC is healthy. Okay.
And if it's time for a new AC, we built the Grizzly especially for Arizona summers.
I'm going to get the technicians ready to Alaskafy the city. But
And I'll make sure the dispatchers are getting our people out fast.
But cool idea, Gary.
Yeah, Gary. See ya.
Schedule at AlaskanAC.com.
Whether it's playing catch with your kids, hitting the trails, or tending to your garden, if foot, knee, hip, or back pain is getting in your way, it's time to take action. Enter the Good Feet store. Their premium arch supports, which are HSA and FSA eligible, will help you bid farewell to discomfort so pain won't dictate your spring. Head over to goodfeet.com today. Schedule your free, no-obligation fitting and step into spring pain-free. Or swing by your nearest store. Walk-ins are always welcome.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. Almost 2 years after retiring from the WNBA, Sue Bird is back with the Seattle Storm, this time in a different role. The team announced this week that Bird is joining the team's ownership group. The Storm drafted Bird first overall in 2002 after she won 2 national championships at UConn and was named Naismith Player of the Year as a senior. She played her entire WNBA career in Seattle, winning 4 championships and making the All-Star team 13 times. She also won 5 Olympic gold medals playing for Team USA. In a team statement, Bird said, "As a player, I poured my heart into every game for the Seattle Storm, and now as part of the ownership group, I am thrilled to continue contributing to the growth of the game. Investing in women's sports isn't just about passion, it's about recognizing the immense talent, dedication, and market potential our league has always had." The Storm season tips off on May 14th. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Erica Herskowitz on Westwood One.
O'Reilly. You need parts? O'Reilly Auto Parts has parts. Need them fast? We've got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You got a service dog?
Actually, he's a deals dog. Since I'm looking for a new car, I trained him to sniff out awesome rates, member discounts, and fast decisions. Cool, huh?
But you know Navy Federal Credit Union has all those things, right?
You're right. He's got the scent. Oh, wait. Nope. That's just the bacon in my pocket.
Apply for a Navy Federal Credit Union auto loan online, at a branch, or on our mobile app. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Message and data rates may apply. Visit NavyFederal.org for more information.
Win one of 3 trips to see Taylor Swift, including round-trip air, 2 nights hotel, $500 spending cash, and 2 of the hottest tickets on the planet.
Welcome to the Eras Tour.
All right, time now for me to give you your keyword to win a trip to see Taylor Swift at the Eras Tour in New Orleans this fall. You're going to want to text this keyword coming up here right now to 95819. That's 95819, and your text word is cruel. Cruel, C-R-U-E-L, cruel. Don't be cruel. That's another group. Sorry. Text cruel to 95819. See, I have to sing other people's songs around these words because I don't know the Taylor songs around these words. Round trip airfare for 2 nights hotel stay, 2 tickets to see Taylor Swift's Eras Tour in New Orleans, $500 cash. Text cruel right now, 95819, courtesy of Wildcats Radio 1290.
DK on the sports tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi.
It's time for the Wildcat Radio replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Junior college transfer Garen Caulfield hit .229 last season for your Arizona Wildcats. He's hitting .338 already this season. Leads the club. He's got 12 doubles. He has also driven in 31 runs this season. That is the second most in his Wildcat career. Drove in 37 in his first year in 2022. Had a chance to catch up with Garen Caulfield earlier this week as we get you set for Arizona Wildcats baseball, and he talked about this winning run for the Wildcats, which has now reached 10 straight games in conference play.
I just think it's the preparation and the confidence that we carry with us every day. You know, everybody's focused right now, and really it starts back in the fall. We knew we had a good group of guys. We were telling you in the preseason, and a lot of people didn't really know about us, and we kind of used that as some motivation for this year, and we're just taking it day by day.
So how have you translated that then? I know you talked to us at Media Day about you guys kind of going in with a chip on your shoulder, being picked to finish 9th in the conference. Now that you've racked up 10 straight Pac-12 wins, how do you keep that edge while knowing that you guys are winning and playing good baseball?
I think you just got to stay present. I mean, we're trying to focus on the season one game at a time, and you know, I think we've done a good job of that so far, or at least in the last month or so. So we're going to keep doing that on this next road trip, and hopefully to keep the streak going.
What are you seeing from this team in these late at-bat wins, and why you guys are able to do that so consistently?
I just think we're never out of the fight. I mean, you know, we 1 through 9, we're pretty confident that anybody can be the hero on any given day, and I'm sure you guys have seen that. I don't even know how many walk-offs we've had at High Corbett this year, but it seems like we're never out of the fight. You know, we're just focusing on winning every pitch, and if it happens to be, you know, win the game in the 9th, then so be it. Happens to be get up early, then we'll do that. So we're just resilient.
That's kind of unique thing about this, though. It's like 4 or 5 different guys have hit walk-offs, and you know, Blake with a huge sac bunt in the 11th the other day. You mentioned 1 through 9. How much does everybody in the lineup have that confidence that they can go up and be the guy to deliver when the game is on the line?
Yeah, I think that's what makes us a good team. It's not one guy every day that we have to rely on. You never know who's going to be the hero that day. So I think that's a good quality that we need to continue to carry on this year to have success.
So has that cohesiveness developed between you and Mason there in the middle?
It's been great. I mean, Mason's awesome. You know, I had a great middle infield partner in Nick McClary last year, and getting to know Mason last year has been huge for the success and the camaraderie we have this year as well.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Jackson Kent gets the ball tonight for Arizona, 3-1, a 264 earned run average. Jared Ingman for the Huskies has not won a start. He's 0-7 with a 6.30 ERA. Don't let that fool you, though. Friday night games are not easy. Wildcats have won 10 in a row in Pac-12 play, the longest conference winning streak for the program since joining the conference as the Pac-10 back in 1979. We'll have all 3 games for you this weekend right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. And if they get this game in tonight, as it looks like they will, we'll have the spring game for you tomorrow as well. Coverage beginning after U of A baseball, which is a 2:05 first pitch tomorrow. And we'll have spring game coverage coming up for you right after that. That's going to conclude our program for today and this week. Thanks to Ken Hockamy, Daryl Joyner, Carl Conk for joining us. For JW Madden and Cricket, my name is David Kelly. That is our time for tonight, our time for this week. We thank you very much for your time. Get out and support Arizona football. Track meet tomorrow, Desert Eat Classic. Follow your Wildcats as well as your Aztecs, as well as your high school kids. Have a great weekend. Bear down, Arizona.
Today
the
on
Dell
Hey Culligan's
Technologies
Smart Home,
semi-annual sale is on with limited quantity deals on top tech. Save on select PCs powered by the latest 12th gen Intel Core processors like thin and light XPS 13 laptops, Inspiron laptops, and 2-in-1s. Plus, get savings on select accessories, free shipping, and monthly payment options with Dell Preferred Account. Save today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Remember, the one and only play-by-play home for Arizona athletics is 1290. So if you're listening to Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball, you have it locked up.